What do you get when you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash? You get harmless phosphorescence! Hello, everyone. This is Throw Smiley, and when I was young, I said I'd start a podcast, and everyone laughed at me. Well, nobody's laughing now. Who's joining me?
I'm Josh Cece, and is this some sort of clown thing?
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'm going to werewolf and go wild.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I'll do anything to pass Western Civ class.
Anything.
Yeah, I every time that line came up in the movie, Josh, I wanted to say a Jewish clown thing, yes. Oh, God. This is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released, full-length, live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you all about it. The show is brought to you by patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You want to be a patron too? Head over to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got a ton of bonus content there. We've got monthly movies. We got Star Wars shows. We do music shows. We're going to be doing Cabin Boy this month, the month of August, in the year of our Lord 2022. And this week...
20,000?
2,000, whatever, close enough. A man can dream.
The future.
Yeah.
2000.
Well, we just did Logan's Run, so this week, though, on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are watching Joker.
Can you please stop bothering my kid?
Sorry.
Arthur, I have some bad news for you. This is the last time we'll be meeting.
You don't listen, do you? You just ask the same questions every week. How's your job? Are you having any negative thoughts? All I have are negative thoughts.
And finally, in a world where everyone thinks they could do my job, check out this guy.
When I was a little boy and told people I was going to be a comedian, everyone laughed at me. Well, no one's laughing now.
You can say that again, pal.
It's so awful, isn't it?
For my whole life, I didn't know if I even really existed. But I do. And people are starting to notice.
You think this is funny? Is this a joke to you?
Murray, one small thing.
Yeah.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker? Send in the clowns.
Joker. He is indeed
This is wild.
a Joker.
That's a great trailer.
That is a really good trailer. Absolutely. Joker was released October 4th, 2019. It's our final 2019 movie, guys. We did 10 of them. 10 movies in 2019 for this show.
Is that the most in 1 year?
Yep. That is 2019 might be looked back upon as the peak of the superhero genre.
I'd say so far, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was the year Endgame came out. It was the most movies. It was a big year.
Are we going to do the Fospies again when we reach a milestone?
We should maybe do them when
something to think about.
Yeah, we should probably do them when we get to the end of when we get caught up on the superheroes. And
yeah.
So a few months, 5-6 months from now. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So Joker, October 14th, 2019, with the running time of 122 minutes. It cost $70 million, which is, a good chunk of change for a drama, but is very cheap for a DC or Marvel film.
Yeah, I'd say.
And it made $1.074 billion. The return on investment for this thing was insane.
I'm sorry, 07?
$1.074 billion. 1.074.
Sorry, that's my math teacher
Ow.
coming out.
Yes, Professor Weber.
That'd be nasty.
Can I go to the nurse?
And guys, I think it means we should play the box office top 10 game.
What's that air horn sound the kids love to put into videos? All right. Let's do this.
Our podcast is just an hour of us making air horn sounds now.
Me trying to replicate noises I heard on the internet.
Yeah.
If that's not a generational stupid bullshit thing to say.
So the box office top 10 game. This is the game where I will read the description of the top 10 movies of the week of October 4th, 2019. Guys, you are going to try to guess what movie I'm describing based on the box office mojo description. Except for the parts where I don't use that description. You ready to play, guys?
Indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. The number 10 movie of the week. 3 6th graders ditch school and embark on an epic journey while carrying drugs, being hunted by teenage girls, and trying to make their way home in time for a party.
Bad dudes?
Close.
No.
Kind of.
Bad guys?
You're in the right. It's not
bad kids.
It's
bad boys.
Adventures in babysitting? The babysitter.
It's.
I remember what the poster looks like. It's 3 kids. It's a red poster.
Yeah. But they didn't do the bad mom naming convention. They went opposite of that. Instead of bad moms, it's
Good boys?
kids.
good boys. Good boys.
Oh, good boys.
Good boys. Yeah. It wasn't bad.
Also the name of that DC Pets movie?
Yeah. It wasn't bad. It was all right. I think we took Jude to see it in the theater. It was like, ooh, an R-rated comedy. It was fine. Number 9 this week. Wow, I have never heard of this movie. Okay. An Indian soldier chases after his mentor who has gone rogue following an unexpected kill. This is literally the first time I've ever heard of this. It stars. This might be an Indian movie. Wow, it's it says Hrithik versus Tiger.
Hrithik.
Hrithik, which I assume is somebody's name.
The gift card scammers.
It has a single word title. It's extremely generic.
Okay. Kill.
Not as generic as that.
This isn't Hero.
Al went down to base. Yeah, I'm with him.
Fight. Conflict.
Yeah, we're getting there. You're getting there. You're going in the right direction.
War.
War. It's called war.
Well, what is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's wait, say it again.
War. That's number 9. Yeah, it looks like it's a Bolly. Well, it wouldn't be like not Bollywood. It's not like doesn't look like it's a musical, but it's definitely looks like it's from the subcontinent.
Would just a Bollywood movie? Do they need song and dance sequences?
I mean, that's considered the genre is like this the musical. When people say Bollywood, that's what springs to mind. But I guess it could be any film made in India.
Just wondering if anybody had an answer on that.
Yeah. I'll consult my.
Yeah, I probably have a wrong one.
Yeah, I can answer you.
Why we're here is for all our wrong answers.
Right.
I learn something every time.
Number 8. A man must confront his past and unearth his ruthless combat skills to exact revenge in a final mission.
The Bourne Supremacy.
No, but it is. It is part of a franchise.
No.
A much.
Brian, it's what you were saying when we were off air. It's Matthew Modine's Joker movie.
Yeah.
John Wick.
No, it's a much older franchise.
Mission Impossible 7.
Older than that.
James Bond?
James Bond?
Not a Bond. Newer than Bond. Older than Mission Impossible.
Get Smart 3.
Get Smart.
It's kind
Mr.
of
Bean does Manhattan.
It's kind of a legacy. Mr. Bean does Manhattan. Is that a porno?
I know, it sounds tawdry.
Where does it stand in age to Mr. Bean?
It might have actually. Mr. Bean kind of would have come after it. Actually, the first one, anyways, first one or two.
Shit. Jaws: The Revenge.
No, it stars a well-known action star.
It's not Mission Impossible?
This is one of 2 big franchises that he helmed. Starred in.
Is this Rocky?
Not Rocky.
Is it Creed?
Not Rocky. It's the other one, the other franchise.
Rocky Balboa.
The other
Rambo.
franchise. Rambo.
This is the new Rambo.
Rambo Last
Old
Blood.
Man Rambo does Manhattan.
Yes. It's called Rambo Last Blood.
Last Blood. Wow. I didn't even
Adrian's
know that.
Revenge.
I didn't even know that existed.
I mean, it opened against Joker, so.
You got your first blood. You got your last blood.
You got your middle blood.
Rambo.
Yeah. You got blood that's just kind of in the middle there.
First Blood Part 2.
He has a warehouse of blood in case he gets injured on these missions. Is that what they're talking about? They're like, this is it. They're unable to give more blood.
This is all the blood.
Rambo in the middle.
We used to play that on the schoolyard.
Well, we'd sing Rambo, Rambo, Rambo round.
And the kid that was in the middle got pelted with rock.
Yeah.
Hard.
Number 7. Astronaut Roy McBride
You famed astronaut. You forgot this.
undertakes a mission across an unforgiving solar system to uncover the truth about his missing father.
Oh, this is Astro. God, this is Brad Pitt in. Astro something. They drove on the moon and they were shooting guns at each other.
Yeah, I remember
stupid
this
movie.
It was an easy movie to fall asleep during, and then I woke up and they were shooting at each other on the moon. I just remember thinking, what the fuck did I miss? His dad is Tommy Lee Jones. Spoiler alert.
Of course.
Ad Astra.
Okay.
Ad Astra. Yeah, you got it. Ad Astra.
Yeah.
I was not going to come to that.
Yeah, at number 6.
I just want to say Brad Pitt is the oldest man in space in that movie until we see Tommy Lee Jones. Then it's like, oh, I guess there are a lot of old people up here. It's kind of weird. Not that Brad Pitt is old, but everybody's like 30 years old and it's Brad Pitt.
The old people are just floating around like space junk.
Old people in space.
Like John Glenn's paved
Well, there
the path
are
for
old
them.
people.
There are old people in space. I mean, technically, we're
Until
all
they
in.
come back down, then they're younger.
Technically, we're all in space. I mean,
That's true. That's heavy, bro.
Man.
shit, man. At number 6.
We should be writing this down.
27 years after their first encounter with a bad thing.
It too.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Chapter
27
2.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. Chapter 2. Yeah.
Which is fucking great. I still love it.
Yo, both.
Oh yeah, both of them.
They were great.
Yeah.
They were great. Not enough preteen orgy scenes.
Yeah, light on the racism.
The subtle changes definitely paid off in this one.
Yeah, I was fine without
Looking
that.
back,
Yeah.
there's a lot of shit in Stephen King's like 70s through 90s work that I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
He is the creepiest horror writer for a reason. That and cocaine.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
But like,
You know, and he's smart and kind enough to change with the times.
He
But
is.
yeah, 70s King. We mentioned it before. He would sometimes write like he was a brother. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
Oh.
like what we all thought a 70s like stereotypical pimp would.
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he knew the vernacular and understood up
Well,
there in Maine.
and, like-
Mixing it up.
And Stephen King books are full of adult bullies, which
Yeah.
like that's not like
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, my favorite Stephen King trope, and Jay and I talk about this all the time, is the magic black person.
oh yeah.
Oh,
There's
sure,
a lot
yeah.
of that.
Uh-huh.
A lot.
And what's her face in The Stand? You know, they both have magical powers.
Yeah.
The Green Mile is completely
Oh my
about
God.
The Green Mile, yeah.
Yeah.
At least that's the focus of
Gosh,
the Green
Jay.
Mile, instead of these other stories where they just serve the purpose of the story.
Oh,
You know,
Stephen King.
don't write a magic plot hole fixer that just happens to be the magic black person. Write a story about a magic black person, dude.
that. You finally came around to that.
Yeah.
He's all, yo, let me do vampires first real quick.
Right. Well, while we talk about this, because we're going to get into some stuff talking about King. King wrote Rage. Have you guys ever read that?
I haven't read
He
Rage.
pulled it from publication. It's about a kid who shoots his teacher.
Uh,
And Stephen King, I think it was after Columbine, in response, he got a lot of questions from the press about his book because these guys mentioned it in their little manifesto thing. And he pulled it from publication. You can no longer buy a modern edition of it. He basically had the publisher rebuy issues that were out too. He like went scorched earth on it. But it's an example of somebody who holds themselves responsible for the impact that their art has on society, as we talk
Yeah.
about
Right.
living in a society. It's just interesting that King came up organically in this way. But that's what this movie makes me think of quite a bit.
Yes, because
if
this
you-
is an example of an artist that doesn't hold himself responsible for
Yeah.
the impact they're having on society.
Yeah. Well, or claiming that that's not the message that they wanted it to be.
Well, I mean,
Right.
at a certain point, like it's like if you're by portraying something, even if you are portraying it in a negative light, the people who would be influenced by it are probably going to miss the subtleties of the negative
Yes.
portrayal.
Nuance.
And that's why Rage got pulled, because it's not just that a kid shoots his teacher, it's that the class cheers him on and he becomes the hero at the end of the story. It's really fucking dark if you read it. It's very much like King, like examining the same things that he was examining in The Shining with somebody losing it, you know?
See, did it come out before 79? That's the first, famous school shooting.
Mm.
I think it was 83 or 82. It was pretty early.
There was a school bombing in
meant
the
to say
40s,
79,
which
but-
is crazy. Some kids made like a fertilizer bomb and blew up their school in the 40s.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Anyways, top
yeah,
10.
box office top 10 at number 5. A legendary performer arrives in London in the winter of 1968 to perform a series of sold-out concerts. It's not a concert film. It's not a documentary. It is
A biopic.
a biopic, yes, of a very specific
68?
limited time, yes. It's an older, for 68, this person would have been an older artist, making a comeback of sorts.
Not Sinatra.
Not
No.
Sinatra,
Elvis or something?
not Elvis. It is a female artist.
Oh.
This would have been right about the
Is this
time that-
Nina?
it's not Nina. This would have been right about the time her daughter was becoming famous. 68.
No.
It's the title is just the first name.
Loretta? No, she already had a movie.
Diana? No.
No. This is like a much older artist. This is not a 60s artist. This is like a 30s and 40s artist.
Oh, Judy?
Judy!
Oh.
Was it Renee Zellweger?
Renee Zellweger as Judy
She
Garland.
did a really
Yeah,
good job.
I still
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
She
It's
did.
decent. It's a very specific point in her life. They don't do the whole sweeping. They
Which
do
is cool.
flashback. It's to the Wizard of Oz production and how she was basically tortured on set.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Well, starved and, she had to try to look 16, and she was certainly not. And so,
Well, it was all those dead
a lot of
bodies hanging
shaking
in the forest.
grabbing.
Too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, she basically was like she lived on amphetamines and cigarettes
And
like,
broth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pardon my ignorance. Who was her daughter?
Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Daughter of Italian director Vincent Minnelli.
Yeah. And Judy Garland. And Liza Minnelli just at this time was starting. It was just a couple years away from Cabaret, which
I think Jolie Fish. No. There's an actress who chose a different name, but is also there.
I'm not sure.
Anyways.
So yeah, that's number 5. And number 4 this week. Inspired by the viral New York Magazine article, this movie follows a crew of savvy former strip club employees who band together to turn the tables on their Wall Street clients. I have never heard of this movie. Oh, yes, I do. I remember the trailer for this now. I never saw it though.
This is the women, right? Who rip off the dudes?
Yeah. It stars J-Lo, Constant Wu. We got Lizzo and Cardi B. Julia Stiles.
Forgot what this movie was
Lizzo,
called.
Cardi B, and Julia Stiles.
The team up you didn't know you wanted.
It's not like
And
Players.
still don't really want.
It's-
It's similar to that. Players.
Yeah.
It's like what these people are. They are.
strippers.
The
movie.
They are. The name of the movie is also the name of an adult men's magazine.
Penthouse?
Hey, boys.
Oh, Hustler.
Hustlers. Yes, it's called Hustlers.
Oh, there we go.
Hustlers.
Oh, boy, Larry.
Hustle on.
Yeah, Hustlers. You're the hustler, baby. Yes.
It's where I learned anatomy. Oh my god, their photo shoots.
It's some of those is like
It was like a gyno exam.
it's like, is that a sunset? Like, what's happening?
Is that the Sarlacc pit?
With that 70s and 80s hair all around? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Predator.
Is that a Rorschach test?
Looks like Gallagher got.
I'm sick of my psychologist showing me all these pictures of vaginas and my dad yelling at me.
That's what each one looks like.
In the same vein, at number 3, the continuing story of a wealthy family and the largest state in the English countryside in which they live.
Is this a Downton Abbey movie?
It is Downton Abbey. Yeah, the movie.
Okay. I think they got another one coming or some shit.
Oh, that thing's gonna. That's.
Oh, that's
I
right.
don't
They do,
understand it. I mean, I understand it, but I don't.
I never watch it. It's
understand
crazy
it,
that
yeah.
it got so big. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it is odd.
Yeah.
It's odd that we're fascinated with the English sort of imperialism that we we cast aside.
Nothing
let's just-
shown on PBS should be so popular.
PBS needs the help.
I mean, Doctor Who
I'm kidding.
was
Sesame Street is the biggest
Yeah.
show of all time.
And then, well, let's see, the French Chef and Monty Python. Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Mr.
Meet
and
the
Mrs.
Press
is the
Rogers.
longest running television program.
What is?
Meet the Press?
Oh, Meet the Press. Yeah.
Is it longer than General Hospital?
Yeah. Wait, is Meet the Press CBS? Maybe I'm wrong.
No, CBS Sunday morning, and then Miss the Press, Meet the Press.
Yeah, I think it is CBS.
Sunday morning with Charles
I'm thinking
Kuralt.
Washington Week is the other one that's run as long as Meet the Press. But nobody watches.
Don't think
Washington.
about that.
Sundays were a weirdly popular day for me as a kid to see news programs between Sunday morning with Charles Kuralt and 60 Minutes. As a kid, I got way more
Charles
news than I
Osgood
should have
was
been
the
getting.
Other one?
What's that?
Did Charles Osgood, I think, took over?
I think so,
Or is he
yeah.
different? I think he did Sunday mornings in the 90s.
I just remember Charles
After
Kuralt
Kuralt.
ended early 90s, maybe late 80s.
Yeah. I used to watch that all the time. I still hear that I work at a music store, so I hear people playing the trumpet, and I always think that it's Sunday morning.
What was his name? Willard Scott?
Yeah.
Is that who the guy that would
the
do the
Smucker's Jam.
birthdays?
Yeah. We're here with Dolores, and she's 112. Dolores, tell us
112.
about your life, and she's just smoking a cigarette. Like,
She's like, it's never ending.
I eat a lot of Smucker's jam.
Taken forever.
Where's my check?
And number 2 at the box office this week, 3 teenagers must help a creature return to his family while avoiding a wealthy man and a zoologist who want him for their own purposes.
It's not Planet of the Apes.
Dragon?
It's not Planet of the Apes.
Is it Pete's Dragon? The live action?
No, it's not. It is a DreamWorks animated film.
Oh. Despicable You.
I really thought we'd done this one already, but maybe we just did one like it. Because this is like, I'm pretty sure there's like 7 movies that are like this, but aren't this movie.
Monster House?
It's
No, that came out.
it's about a snow beast.
The Yeti? No, it's
Littlefoot.
No, that's the one we did. We did Bigfoot. I think there was one called Bigfoot we did.
We did Little Feet in the music. Yeah. Oh, the Snowman, the Abominable Snowman.
Abominable?
It's called Abominable. Yes.
Oh, just that.
Just straight abominable.
Snowman.
The abdominal.
Abominable. Yeah. The Joker story. And number 1 this week, a mentally troubled stand-up comedian embarks on a downward spiral. King of comedy.
Right. Any comedian story.
Yeah. Joker was number 1. And that is the box office top 10. Which leads us to our comic book and character background. Professor Von Weber. Tell us things about this funny man.
Okay, so we
The Germans
have-
are very funny people. Anyways.
We have talked about the Joker before. I believe it was Batman 1989.
66, right?
We did the
Well-
Batman 66 movie with Ramiro.
We did, but I don't think we really talked about Joker at length at that time.
Yeah, I think in
Fair
Batman
enough.
89 was when we went into the background.
Yeah.
Ramiro was robbed.
And that was the
Um,
first modern portrayal. Nicholson.
Yeah.
So we can
But-
say it starts there.
So having talked about it before, my original idea was to go kryptonite on Martha's pearls rather than talk about Joker.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got to start saying that.
Going kryptonite.
On Martha's Pearls.
For those of you who are unaware, what Superman movie was it that you went kryptonite? Superman.
Superman 3. I did the backstory on kryptonite in all of its colors.
Red, white, black, blue.
If you find yourself screaming at people in a Walgreens, definitely pull that out. I'm going to go kryptonite on Martha's pearls over here.
The pink kryptonite, which made you gay,
That's
dude.
right.
or
yeah.
made Kryptonians gay.
You got to keep one in your pocket everywhere you go.
Good at dancing.
But considering the last time we talked about the Joker at length was almost 3 years ago, I just thought a brief refresher would be in order. Not so much about the character, because the character is widely known by most of the world. But our refresher, the character of Joker, the Joker, was introduced in Batman #1 in April 1940, created by Bill Finger, Bob Kane, and Jerry Robinson. The Joker is one of the most iconic characters in popular culture, listed among the greatest comic book villains and fictional characters ever created. While a number of backstories for the Joker have been written over the decades, a definitive and canonical origin has never been established. Creator Jerry Robinson said that he and co-creator Bill Finger never intended to give a reason for Joker's appearance, and that doing so would take away some of the essential mystery.
Yes.
That said,
that's part of the character's origin too. That's continued.
Yeah. That said, Bill Finger himself did write a Joker origin story in 1951. The Man Behind the Red Hood. In which Joker, I think unnamed, I don't know, but pre-Joker was a laboratory worker who becomes the criminal Red Hood to steal $1 million, $1 million to retire, only to be thwarted by Batman and fall into a vat of chemical waste, emerging with his bleached skin, green hair, and red lips stretched into a permanent grin. Jumping around a bit because, yeah, that's what happens. Let's see. So, as Joker himself stated in Alan Moore's 1988 The Killing Joke, sometimes I remember it one way, sometimes another. If I'm going to have a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice.
Heath Ledger dug into that.
Yeah.
Yes. Where he gave like 3 different origin stories in one movie.
Yeah, it was his wife that made him cut it himself. It was his father who did it to him.
Well, and the enigmatic nature of the Joker's origin is kind of a big part of the character. Like, which I don't know.
It's interesting having an origin story be the idea of the character.
It is
a weird thing for the character to be examined pre-Joker.
It really is.
It's dangerous to humanize him. We were talking about that text, but you know,
well, especially
like, it made sense for Darth Vader, for example. Like going back and seeing his origin story didn't ruin Darth Vader, the character, or any of his gravitas. But this character, as Al was just saying, you don't want to know where he started because you don't want to empathize with him whatsoever.
You don't. And also this version of him, this is a weird way to go. Like he's a mentally unstable incel dude. Like that's a weird way to go. Not like a thug or a tough guy, not a criminal. He's just mentally ill.
Well, and misunderstood and left behind by society, which a lot of people are. So, choosing to make him an empathetic character is a weird, strong choice.
Well, that's why Thoreau was saying that's why it's weird to give him sort of legitimate mental illnesses, you know, that people could relate to.
Yeah.
You know, we don't use the general term crazy anymore, but the Joker was just crazy. He wasn't dropped on his head like Arthur. Yeah. He wasn't... he didn't have this tick. He didn't have relatable mental illness, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But
Harley
this
Quinn,
character did.
The cartoon Harley Quinn does an interesting job of examining him as a human who is actively making choices and not just like, I just do what's crazy. He's like, no, yeah, I do a lot of crazy shit, but also living a human life. Which is more interesting than this to me.
Right, because he's still a monster in Harley Quinn. That's the thing is Joker is a monster in human skin. He's not a relatable human who has been pushed by society. Like,
right. No, yes, exactly. He's a true nihilist anarchist. Society doesn't really matter to him.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Al.
Okay. So Alan Moore's work, The Killing Joke, that was in 1988, built upon the first Joker origin story, which was published by Bill Finger in Detective Comics number 168, February of 1951. The Killing Joke built upon that, the Red Hood story. And he had a wife, a pregnant wife, who apparently died for some reason. He became the Red Hood to try and support his family and yada, yada, yada.
But he was approached by gangsters.
He was approached by gangsters. He was, in fact, a lab worker who... I think that was when they first popularized the notion that Joker was a failed stand-up comedian turned to crime.
Yes. Yeah, that was in that.
Moore
and Bolland got special thanks at the end of this.
Oh, cool. Yeah, as well they should.
I agree.
You know,
the go ahead, Thoreau.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, failed stand-up comedian turned to crime. This actually sheds a lot of light on what's been going on with Chris Rock lately.
I agree.
So over the course of the decades, the name Jack has been thrown out for pre-Joker persona. I don't remember if that was before or after Jack Napier from Batman, Jack Nicholson.
It is another playing card,
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But also Jack Nicholson insists mostly on playing characters named Jack,
so he remembers. Yeah,
he's like Homer. You have to stomp on his foot under the table for him to respond.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think he's talking to you.
The name Arthur Fleck, as near as I can tell, is not from the comics. This is a brand new name for our Joker. And we didn't even get a vat of chemicals.
No, they went with pearls instead. But no chemicals.
Yeah.
And I promised to be brief, and that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Al.
Thank you.
That brings us to the production. This is the fifth person to play the Joker that we've seen on this show. This is not counting Mark Hamill or Alan Tudyk, who plays him on Harley Quinn. No animated Jokers. But this is the fifth live action on film in the theater Joker.
Yep.
This is also marks the fifth time we have seen the pearls fall to the ground.
Oh my god.
That's been
Wait, did you say fifth time?
Fifth time because
only the fifth?
Only the fifth time we've seen the pearls fall to the ground.
And with Al, it feels like way more.
Yeah.
I think this is the most aggressive pearl robbery
falling.
that we get to.
Pearl breaking. Yeah.
Who is up to date on Harley Quinn, the animated show?
Oh, I am.
I am as well. Was it the last episode that he put pearls on a cat?
Yes. He named his cats Thomas and Martha.
I put pearls on. Yeah. That was hilarious. The rich people orgy was amazing.
Dude, no, singing therapy. Nothing has made me more uncomfortable in an animated series than Batman singing in therapy.
Oh my god.
Well, I forget the guy's name, the singing meister or whatever. The songmeister.
Yeah, I can't remember.
The songster.
Yeah. If you're not
therapist?
watching Harley Quinn, watch it. It's incredible.
It's a great show.
Oh yeah. I haven't finished it. But yeah, it's great. I love Ron Funches. I love him anyways. But as King Shark, he's just
oh my god, yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah. Honestly, Haley Cuoco and Lake Bell just
they kill it
constantly.
Kill it.
Haley, I kind of love.
She is great.
Celebrity crush love.
I never got into anything that she was into until this.
I hate The Big Bang Theory. I've never seen a full episode.
Yeah.
But there's just something adorable about her.
Flight Attendant.
That show, The Flight Attendant.
That's really good. Yeah.
I haven't seen that. It's got Sheree from The Expanse in that too.
Yeah.
Got Rosie Perez.
Lake Bell was in Wicked. She was the Wicked Witch for years. So that's how I know her.
She's a voice. She made a movie about voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
About her dad was like supposed to be the Don, like in a world, and he was retiring, or when Don, what's his name, died, and everyone was vying for that voice acting. She's like, why can't it be a woman? I was like, what? In a world where a woman describes a movie.
Is that what the movie was called? In a World?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Um,
She was also on Children's Hospital.
so all right. Joker was directed by Todd Phillips, written by Todd Phillips and Scott Silver. Todd Phillips, prior to this,
All 3 Hangover movies.
that's what he's best known for. The 3 Hangover movies. He also did Road Trip, Old School, Starsky and Hutch.
Old School is
Yeah.
when I first noticed him, and that was huge
Yeah.
for people our age. At the Blue, you're my boy. I heard that at so many parties.
Seriously, Frank the Tank.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
but for 2 years leading up to this movie, all he did in public was complain about not being able to make a 4th Hangover movie.
Ugh.
No one would ever let me make a 4th Hangover movie ever.
They shouldn't, because the second one and the third one were both terrible.
Yeah, that's not. People aren't against gross humor.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
against
no, it
bad
wasn't
movies.
Yeah.
What else can you do?
Yeah.
Fox isn't going to front you another $100 million to make a 4th one. Sorry, man.
Yeah, because it was they were bad movies.
The first one's
Hangover, The
hilarious.
Revenge.
Yeah. First Blood Part 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
His writing
It'll get made.
Yeah, maybe. The writing partner, Scott Silver, we've spoken about him before. He was a writer. He did some uncredited rewrites on X-Men Origins Wolverine.
So he improved it.
I would assume so. He also wrote the 1999 Mod Squad movie. Wrote and directed that one, by the way. He was the writer of the Eminem movie 8 Mile. Those are his biggest ones. He did Siberia, which is a movie I'm not really familiar with, from 2018. He works.
Was that a James Michener adaptation?
Siberia.
I'd read it.
Remember those Michener novels? Jesus.
Yeah.
Alaska.
What did they call those? They were historical
fiction.
Yeah. There was a specific term though that got coined for Michener, because there was like a genre for a while of like Michener style.
Yeah, like the ones that are like
history.
sweeping, epic, like
right, that were named for a region.
Yeah.
That was Al's joke.
Oh, it's like
that would be hilarious for a
geographical
dictionary-sized book about a frozen tundra.
Like for many years, nothing happened.
Yeah, day 366. It's still fucking cold.
Joker was produced by Bradley Cooper of The Hangover.
Of The
Hangovers.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that until this watch through, and I thought, oh, there's a Hangover connection.
There's an MCU.
Yeah. And this was also produced by Emma Tillinger-Koskoff, who is best known for producing Martin Scorsese films. She's produced every Scorsese film since The Departed.
Wow, far out.
Yeah.
Well, that's why De Niro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So yeah, speaking of De Niro, we got I'll start with him. We've got De Niro as Murray Franklin. This is our first De Niro on this show, isn't it? I don't think he was in.
He didn't dip his toe in this genre all that much.
No, like at all, really. So
he's playing the Jerry Lewis character from King of Comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was the Arthur in that movie. He was the younger comic who was just fucking terrible.
Yeah. Let's be clear. This is very much a Scorsese homage. Like anyone who hasn't seen Taxi Driver, Mean Streets, or King of Comedy, that's this movie. That's just what this movie is doing.
Sure. Which were written by Paul Schrader. I can't remember who wrote the King of Comedy, but Scorsese. Yeah, it's very interesting. But that's exactly what this movie is trying to be.
Yeah, 100%. It's even setting itself in the same time in which those were made. This is set in 1981.
And weren't they vying to get Scorsese to direct this?
I don't know. I didn't.
That's familiar sounding.
Probably. Yeah.
That would have made sense.
And just like other obligations he couldn't, or something like that. But
maybe he Spielberged it because the tones are so much so.
Yeah, this movie could have come out in 78. I didn't watch King of Comedy or Taxi Driver leading up to this, but I did happen to just put on The Freshman. This movie reminds me of The Freshman so much.
Far out. I haven't seen
in
that
a weird, subtle way because it's all the Godfather in jokes. You know, Brando's in it. This kind of reminds me of like if the Joker had existed in those universes, kind of thing. Like, oh, and this is why all of society is fucked.
Well, there's a lot of things like they talk about the garbage strike in Gotham, which there was the garbage strike in New York in the late 70s, which was a big thing, which like Taxi Driver was filmed during that period, which is why the streets are covered in garbage as when De Niro's walking around and driving around.
Right.
So like there's the
filth of the city on every level.
Yes. Yeah. This is 100% New York of the 70s, like the dirty, decayed, falling
Times
apart.
Square, 42nd Street, hookers and junkies just like doing their shit on the steps
and,
on the sidewalk.
And having De Niro in this gives it like that legitimacy of the early 80s, late 70s Scorsese films in a lot of ways.
But it's interesting because this character he plays is disgusted by this, violence and anarchism kind of thing.
Oh, sorry. Martin Scorsese was initially attached to this project as a producer, not director.
Okay. I was going to say because it seems that the idea came from Todd Phillips. That it was
so like you said, the producer was a longtime Scorsese producer.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he was in some meetings. That's what I meant by Spielberg. Do this.
So, what I just have to say, if De Niro was a late night host, this character, I don't know if I could watch him. He looks way too De Niro-esque for me to find funny. Like, I'm just a little uncomfortable with every joke he made. Every joke, I'm expecting him to start yelling at me.
Yeah. He was not a Carson equivalent by far. Although the dude doing Ed McMahon at the end of the couch is fucking nailing it.
He's doing good.
I don't know if they ADR'd the laugh, but he's all the little Dr. Ruth character.
So all right. So Joaquin Phoenix plays Arthur Peck, aka the Joker.
Fleck.
Arthur Fleck. I'm sorry, Arthur Fleck.
Fishborn.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Templeton Peck.
That's true.
Or Gregory Peck.
Yeah.
So
Dreamboat.
So Joaquin Phoenix was brought on board pretty early on. Todd Phillips wanted him to play the Joker. Surprise, surprise. That the previous Joker, who played the Joker just a couple years earlier, was very unhappy with this. Jared Leto was apparently extremely angry that they didn't ask him to be the Joker in this movie.
Do you think he like sent them dead animals and used condoms,
jars of his urine or something?
Yeah.
You could definitely see this character growing up to have face tattoos and a gold grill and like, Jared, what are you fucking thinking? Like, your Joker doesn't have an origin story.
Yeah, well, and it couldn't be made in that era. This movie couldn't have been made in the modern era.
Yeah. No, it could not have. I just want to. Okay, so this quote is. This makes me feel bad about it. So Todd Phillips said that he found it difficult to make comedy films in the quote woke culture.
Ooh.
Throughout opposition of 30 million people on Twitter. So he said, how do I do something irreverent But fuck comedy? Oh, I know. Let's take the comic book movie universe and turn it on its head with this.
He did not turn it on its head.
He did not. And also him complaining about woke culture given the, this film's themes is a little gross.
This will not age better because of that.
No. Let's see. So we've got Zazie
Well,
Beetz.
and the term is insulting woke culture.
It is.
There's no such thing as that.
No. I mean, Twitter's awful, but nonetheless, like the impetus behind like, hey, let's not be racist and sexist and treat people with human dignity is not something that you need to fucking complain about.
Right. If you can't make a movie regardless of the popular zeitgeist, you shouldn't be making movies.
Well, and something that I think is interesting with this movie in particular, because he's trying to, avoid the criticism from quote unquote the woke culture, from society holding him accountable for his art. Arthur at the end calls himself a mentally ill person. He doesn't call himself a crazy person.
No, he doesn't like it. He reacts to that word.
Yeah, he's still doing, because I mean, not to say that that's what a person would call themselves, but probably would have been the word that he would have used on TV instead of a mentally ill person is very like self-aware and, to me,
empathetic.
And it seemed like he was avoiding, like as a writer and director and producer, like I'm trying to avoid criticism for misrepresenting mental illness.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not a great representation of mental illness.
And it's not. But at the same time, I don't want to say tiptoeing because they're not tiptoeing, but they're trying to get around criticism using language the way that they do. I thought that. At least. I was like, wow, it's, for all that comment about like the woke culture, here you are using terms that people deem okay.
I mean, that is true. I mean, I would have to agree with that. Also, though, like, as we've said, if this is a subtle commentary on the current state of a certain sort of 4chan type dude and that whole culture, that very right-wing culture, those guys aren't going to get it. They're not going to get the subtle commentary. They're just going to think the Joker's someone that's
crazy,
that represents them.
And we've seen it happen before with Heath Ledger's depiction, where he, the guy who shot up the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado, painted his hair bright colors, and I think he wore face makeup, but was very like,
he did,
decked out like the Joker. He was clearly inspired by, and not to say that like Nolan was irresponsible in any way.
Right.
It's very different, obviously, but it's just interesting to do that with the same character and be less responsible.
There's too many racist basement dwellers with "Why So Serious" tattoos for this movie to treat the subject matter so flippantly.
Yeah.
The like we were saying, like it's the same thing. Travis Bickle, Tyler Durden, Patrick Bateman, Walter White, like these people. The Punisher, they don't understand that these people, there's a whole subculture that lionizes these villains and at best anti-heroes as
the Punisher is an anti-hero, the Joker's not at all, which is
it's not supposed to be. That's
because Walter White has cancer ultimately, and he's trying to make money for his family
until he doesn't.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's right. Until he doesn't, I can see his motivations. But this character, it's like, what are his motivations?
Right,
society.
But also Walter White early and clearly went so far over the line, and then in the final Breaking Bad spoilers, everybody in the final episodes admits as much that he did it because he enjoyed the power and
he was always a spiteful, mean person.
All he had to do was take the money from his rich friends, and none of that needed to fucking happen.
Right, but his pride,
he was 100% the villain of Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it's different because he has a motivation.
He does, and Arthur Fleck has a motivation too. But it's like,
but I don't know what it is.
But we're not supposed to see the Joker's motive. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter what it was.
But does this character have a motivation in the film? Because I couldn't tell you what it was.
His motivation is that
people laugh.
Rich people are mean to him, and everybody's mean to him, and they don't understand him, and he likes
they're
the
laughing
attention.
at him in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's society doesn't understand me is his motivation. Just like it doesn't understand the dude in the basement on 4chan making racist jokes.
See, I don't even interpret it as his motivation. I just see it as the circumstances because he's not aware of it. You know, he's not functioning under that being his reality.
He literally writes it. He literally writes it down. He says the worst part about being mentally ill is that people expect you to act as if you're not.
That's true. I guess he is, in that sense, the misunderstood thing is deliberately spoken. There are so many lines that are deliberately spoken. This movie is really trying to make us think a thing.
It is.
Yeah, he tells his social worker that she doesn't listen.
Yeah.
You know, that's an honest, he's being vulnerable there. And then also the way that the system, I've been in that situation before, like, oh yeah, that doctor's gone. Well, how am I going to get my medication?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's a true fuck over.
Yeah.
And especially if it's someone like Arthur who's aware of his conditions. Yeah.
It was interesting.
It's too relatable. It's too empathetic.
We'll get to the moment, but when his caseworker says to him, they don't care about people like you.
Yeah.
Or people like me.
Yeah.
Like, what?
No,
exactly. It's and it also disturbs me that they're wrapping this evil person or this character in a veneer of like the 99% movement. Like it's like rich people. Like, I mean, you can't, like, yes, like inequity exists and like the rich people are evil, but that doesn't change the fact that the loner with a gun is terrible and the wrong sort of people.
Right.
Like
the majority of people deal with their frustrations and their mental illness and their anger at the very least in non-destructive ways. So when you have someone that does things like the Joker, it's just so frustrating that they want us to care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Zazie Beetz is Sophie. We saw her most recently in Deadpool 2.
No.
Yeah.
Domino. Yeah.
Frances Conroy I swear she's shown up in one of these movies before. It's a few of them.
Sexy old crone.
Sexy old crone.
With the weird
Frances Conroy. Yeah.
She's a great actress, I think. But yeah.
Incredible.
Just, if you need that.
She always plays very unpleasant mothers that I dislike a lot. Yeah.
Was she the mom in 6 Feet Under?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ruth. And God, I fucking hate Ruth. But great show. And she did a great job making me hate her. She always does. Brett Cullen plays Thomas Wayne. That was originally supposed to be Alec Baldwin, but he had to drop out.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a prick. Like, yeah, you can buy that.
And he looks the part still.
Yeah.
I did like that one aspect that, you know, that obviously Thomas Wayne became a hero posthumously. You know, like he was a dick. It didn't seem like he was really helping out the poor. Whereas once he's died, the Wayne Foundation, you know, orphanages, churches, all that kind of.
Exactly.
But we're kind of seeing that he was just another rich prick who was disgusted. You know, like that thing we were talking about at the New York in the 70s, the Bickle, the people that were so angry at the filth.
Yeah.
So angry at the people, the lower class, the garbage. Yeah, I like that about Thomas Wayne because that's real.
It's such an honest interpretation instead of Nolan's and Keaton's Batman had the same thing where he's like, Thomas Wayne was a philanthropist. He saved this city.
Like, saved the city. Yeah,
did he?
Nolan. Yeah. You don't have that house and relate to the poor.
No, you don't. And also, I think it's very interesting that he is a billionaire who runs for public office, and he literally says the words, "Only I can save you."
This movie is very on the nose with the Trump comparisons. It's kind of ham-fisted when it happens too, which whatever, you know, it was the time that this movie was made, but like it could have been a little more subtle.
And the well-known person who has no political background, Gotham loves that. Everybody's run for mayor at one point or another.
So Brett Cullen, this is really interesting. His background, he was probably best known for Falcon Crest.
Oh my God!
Yeah, previously
what is Falcon Crest? I'm
Falcon Crest. It has an amazing theme song. It
soap
still gets
opera
stuck in my
Dallas.
head sometimes from the 80s.
It
It's
was
so
like
soaring.
concurrent with Dallas,
Like a
and,
falcon.
Dynasty.
But they had a winery in a vineyard. That's what the Falcon Crest.
Yeah,
was.
but the theme song was so soaring, and it was a picture of a falcon. It was like bum bum ba bum. Yeah.
I have Dallas. I can conjure that up.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to look it up on YouTube, see if there's some clips.
Yeah. But
they aired in prime time and shit. So if you were our age, you could turn off the TV or you could watch Falcon Crest.
Exactly.
Those were your options.
He was also in Lost, The West Wing, something called Devious Maids. But
Al,
We've seen him twice before.
And
in
The Incredible
Ghost
Hulk.
Rider.
Yes.
He was Barton Blaze. He was Johnny Blaze's father in Ghost Rider. He was also a congressman in The Dark Knight.
And he was
The Dark Knight.
or a senator.
Rises.
And he was on the Incredible Hulk TV show.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But so okay, this is interesting though. So his dad was Lucian Cullen, one of the richest oil barons in the history of Texas.
Wow.
He
this guy didn't get better roles,
right? He was an acting mentor. His acting mentor was Cecil Pickett, who also mentored Dennis and Randy Quaid and Brent Spiner.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting stable of clients.
Yeah, I wonder if those guys are friends in real life.
Oh yeah,
They
the
passed
Quaid and
each
Brent
other.
Spiner. Yeah. Let's see. Carrie Louise Petrello is Martha. She doesn't even have a line in this, does she?
No.
Yeah.
And she's way older. There's like a Barbara Bush thing going on.
It's kind of weird.
You'd expect him to have a more trophy-esque wife.
Right. Douglas Hodge plays Alfred Pennyworth, which HBO Max is telling me soon I'm going to be seeing Pennyworth all over the place fighting Nazis and stuff.
00 Pennyworth.
Yeah.
The whole Wayne family.
Hasn't that show been on for a couple of years?
I don't know. I just
too. When I saw the advertisements for it.
I've just been seeing the advertisements recently. Has it been on for a while?
I think so. This might be the third season.
I think it
but
might
I
have
can't
moved
verify that
to HBO recently. Like they added it to the catalog. And there's a new season coming out on HBO. I think that's what's happening.
What was
on his buddling adventures?
What was Krypton on before?
Was that CW?
No,
was
it
that
wasn't
another
CW,
Warner Brothers channel.
Anyway, yeah, it was, or yeah, I can't remember. It was on another channel, not HBO. But
isn't it funny that the Wayne family is very anti-gun? I mean, obviously, because Martha and Thomas got shot and the pearls scattered and everybody was, afraid of guns forever.
Yeah.
But Alfred is like always like double fisting like 2 guns at a time. He's got like 4 or 5 guns in his pocket. He's just like fucking Rambo at any point.
Yeah, he's his bodyguard.
But he can also kill you with his pinky finger.
Yeah, man. Kill you with a cup of tea.
And kindness.
Well,
and poison.
Well, but let's not forget that his computer password is Britain.
That was in Dark Knight, right?
No, that was Batman and Robin.
Britain.
Not
Britain.
Her Majesty or the Queen, but Britain.
Just Britain. So
not Britain 420. Exclamation
69.
point.
69.
Yeah, he was growing weed on the Wayne family farm.
Some Wayne weed.
the Wayne weed.
He served with
It's
Bond
like-
in Jamaica.
It's like the Cheerios that the Clark or the Kent screw.
Oh, and let us not forget. So this is our. Let me see. One. Oh boy. Okay, this is gonna take me. I didn't count this out beforehand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is our 7th Bruce Wayne. This kid, the kid in this movie is the 7th Bruce Wayne we've gotten.
Huh.
Yeah. Dante Pereira Olsen plays Bruce Wayne.
Plays Silent Kid.
Yeah. He is going to be in the sequel. There is a sequel plan called Joker Folie à Deux.
He's going to be, what does that even mean? That's interesting.
Adieu.
Folie à Deux.
Goodbye.
Well, I think
the last laugh.
Yeah, I think it's the last one. But I think that, but him being in the sequel, how are they going to put a kid in this movie without parents?
Right. Well, and this was filmed in 2018. They're filming Joker later this year, and into 2023. So he's 5 years older now. This kid, right?
Oh, dig this real quick. Folie à deux is defined as an identical or similar mental disorder affecting 2 or more individuals.
Oh, because we've
usually
got
members of a close family. But yeah, we're going to get Harley.
Lady Gaga is Harley. Yeah.
I thought "du" was as in adieu.
Yeah. So what? That's
different spelling.
So 5 years later, kid's 5 years older. He was like 11 or 12 in this movie. So he's going to be like 16, 17-year-old Batman or Bruce Wayne.
I hope they make him Batman. God, that's going to piss so many people off, and it's going to make me so happy.
It would be hilarious if he was Batman.
A young Batman driving a souped-up car.
Todd Phillips said that it is going to be a musical, like an actual musical.
I'm not against it. Honestly, this movie ends with
musicals,
the Joker is singing at the end of this movie, which to me, I thought, oh, okay, if they're making the next one a musical, that's an interesting place to start. He's singing Sinatra tunes.
I hope it's an entirely different vibe and an entirely different genre of film they make. Like, I hope it's not like Scuzzy Scorsese town again.
I hope it's Scorsese made Singing in the Rain.
I hope it's more like Back to the Future. Just thinking of 80s vibe.
Like,
Or Teen Wolf
playing guitar the whole time.
Scorsese made a musical, and Liza Minnelli was in it.
Oh,
New York.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's probably what it's going to be. Holy shit.
I bet
Because they're going to ape a Scorsese movie again. They have to.
I bet they're gonna really hit that like 70s Fosse vibe with like cabaret and all that jazz. I hope they
really
don't,
emotionally deep material.
I hope they don't play on Star 80 though, because Jesus Christ. So all right, that's our background, guys. I got a couple reviews off Letterboxd here. I guess I should
burgers.
Misreviews.
Right. On Rotten Tomatoes, this movie has where is it at? Here we go. As 68%. It's a little bit it's a little controversial.
That's surprising to me.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be higher, yeah.
Yeah. He's a hero, I say into the mic. Everyone cheers because it's true. 5 stars. That was
okay.
Yeah. It made me want to be the Joker, and I don't think that was the intended reaction from the film. 5 stars, says a dude with the with Ghostface from Scream as his avatar.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be the Joker, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
I just like to paint my face. Purple looks good on me.
I like joy buzzers and stuff.
Half a star. Didn't actually watch it. I just hate seeing nerds happy.
Yes.
And the final one, half a star. I could fix him.
Whoa.
Tell me the username is Harley Quinn something.
Yeah, that's self-delusional.
Yeah. The name is person number 212. So
Dude,
I
fuck
can't
him into
change him.
submission.
Yeah, it was a
Jesus.
computer that said that for a robot.
yeah.
I can change him. I can fix him.
No, Daddy,
the
I love
technology.
it. Wait,
We
what
have the
was that?
technology.
Was that the Crushinator from? No, Papa, I love him. So, all right, guys, are you ready to jump into this thing?
Yes,
Everything
Murray.
must go.
Here we go. This
I can
is
keep going. If we want.
Joker. We open with Arthur putting on clown makeup in front of a mirror while the radio tells us about a garbage strike in Gotham. Then we cut to him in full clown regalia, dancing with a sign for an electronics store that's going, or a music store that's going out of business.
I like regalia
Yeah.
as if he's like a Commodore in the clown navy.
They show us right away he's like forcing himself to smile while crying
Yeah.
through his makeup.
Yeah. No, it's
He's not in a good way.
this isn't a subtle film. Like,
He's not living his best life, it's fair to say.
yeah.
It opens on the thing they continue to show us.
Yes. He's sad clown. And then for another 2 hours, a sad clown.
Pagliacci,
Mad
a Joker story, you know.
Yep, Emmett Kelly. Yeah, the sad clown.
Mm-hmm.
Boo.
So,
He's
yeah.
pretty adept when he's doing his job.
He's not a bad clown.
He's a good clown. He's a good clown. Yeah.
He's pretty adept at faking a smile,
Yeah. And
faking happiness.
he does some
He's-
pretty good clown dancing.
He's made to be a clown.
You're the
Which
clowniest
is-
clowns that ever clowned.
It's kind of sad, you know, like, damn, you're a really good clown. Man, I kind of feel bad for you inherently,
Yeah.
you know? Like, it shows the
He
clown life.
makes next to nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I imagine the clown business in the early 80s isn't booming.
Why you hung up on some clown from the 50s, man?
I love that there's a clown like employment agency.
There's a clown depot that he goes to and changes.
Clown Depot.
It's like taxi.
Clown
It's like
economy
a
is
taxi
strong.
driver depot, or like a
I called it Clown Central. Randall called it Chuckletown.
Ooh, Chuckletown. Yeah.
Clowning is recession.
Do you think that's where all the masks came from? The Clown Depot? Everybody's like, oh, the Clown Depot is still open.
Clown
I should go
Depot.
get a mask.
Yeah, do you know where we can get a clown mask? Well, clowns. The Clown Depot. Clowns are us.
Oh, the Clown District.
I'm going to go rent a car from the Clown Car.
It's so tiny. So
Hey, there's a deep discount on clown masks.
If Clown Town is adjacent to Chinatown,
Yep. I'm going to go to Giant Foot Locker.
So, some ruffians steal his sign, so he chases
Yeah,
them.
some local toughs.
Yes,
I love that they're young kids too. They're not adult thugs. They're 14 years old.
Yeah,
But that was big at that time. We were talking about Bernie Getz. Those were kids that he
Yeah.
shot, and that was Warriors. That's where that movie.
Yeah.
Kinda,
Mhm.
There were a lot of aimless young men
Yeah.
at the time.
I broke a lot of soda bottles trying to reenact that scene.
Well, and it's a commentary on fatherless children. That's
Yeah.
anytime
Yeah.
you see
Right.
teenagers who are running amok, that's the social commentary.
And that's where all of that bullshit propaganda came from, that black men don't raise their children, and people of color don't have families. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the social
All that
inequity.
bullshit.
Well, late 20th century social inequity is inherently racist. So,
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get around it.
yeah. So they beat him up, break the sign, and leave him laying on the concrete.
I love the hitting him in the face with his own sign, surprising him. It was this is well filmed, well blocked.
It
All
is.
of this makes sense.
It's a well-made
the sign
film.
say?
It's absolutely a well-made film. It was like 20%. It was just like the discount.
No, it wasn't.
Was
it was a sentence, and it kind of related to the
the theme. Oh, I don't know. I didn't write it. I didn't make a note of it.
I didn't write it down either. But yeah, I liked that. He was hit by his, yeah.
Well, and then the sign later on comes back to like, yeah, they want him to return the sign. They don't believe.
Oh, and I love Arthur's reaction. What a real life reaction. Like, why would I take it home?
Yeah.
Why would I take the sign?
Yeah, it's
like that's a legit question. And the other guy sounds a little crazy too.
This is the one time where the subtlety of society being unfair really worked in the movie.
Yeah.
And that happens. Yeah.
Right. So yeah. Well,
the clown temp agency.
Well, I mean, see, that's what's so messed up about this film is that all of the unfairness of society, the unfairness of rich people and uncaring bosses, like all of the exploitation
systems
of the underclass, like all of this are legitimate things that he has to deal with, which makes it so much worse that it's the Joker.
I know. We were talking about it. I don't think if being the Joker or being in Gotham lends anything to the movie. It could have been about a character that Joaquin Phoenix was playing, because all of that shit was interesting and relatable.
Right, but if he's not,
they make him the Joker, and you don't want it. You don't want to relate.
If he's not the Joker, it is just Taxi Driver.
You'd have to do more to it, but yeah, it didn't help that he was the Joker. It hurt it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we get our title card. We cut to Arthur laughing uncontrollably. He's in his weekly meeting with his social worker. We discover he spent some time in an institution. He wants to be a comedian, and he takes a lot of medication. And he keeps a diary, which is also a joke book. I'm gonna call it now. His jokes aren't very funny.
Yep.
Honestly, there's an Andy Kaufman element to this that made me laugh a couple of times when he's on the show, when he's doing a stand-up, where I was like, I would be laughing.
Yeah, there's no other way to put it.
At him, you know,
there's no other way to put it than Andy Kaufman. You're absolutely right. The laugh, the laugh itself, like just doing it a little too long.
Yeah, there's a fine line between Steve Martin and Andy Kaufman, and once you cross over into Andy Kaufman territory, you've got to be good.
Right, you're in deep.
Yeah, because you've got to continue doing that.
Right, you can't.
Andy Kaufman made people laugh just looking at him without saying a word.
I mean, the first bit he ever did on SNL was just him lip syncing to Mighty Mouse.
So fucking
only lip singing the one line.
Yeah.
Oh
not
yeah.
the whole thing.
Here I am to save the day.
Here I am. Yep.
So good.
And he was the musical guest that night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is insane.
Yep.
But yeah, that's another thing that this definitely is leaning into as a way to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That the absurdist, that was, that late 70s, early 80s experimental absurdist comedy that Kaufman was the vanguard of.
Yeah.
But he also showed us that like 80s stand-up, like Gary Goldman talking about role playing, and then we hear another so they're doing that very 80s comic thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed us that purposely to show the contrast of the Kaufman-esque shit instead of the boom boom, even though they kind of do that.
Yeah. So after his meeting, he goes home and tries to make a kid on the bus laugh. The kid's mom doesn't like it, and we learn that Arthur has a medical condition that causes uncontrollable laughter.
They still had me at this point, dude. This was adorable. This was so funny. He's clearly good with kids. He's a good clown.
Yeah, he is a good clown.
And he's apologetic to the mom. He's deferential to her parenting. Like, he's clearly a decent dude. This movie is so conflicted in that sense.
Right. He's acting a decent dude, but a decent dude doesn't become the Joker.
Well, yeah, this character being capable of both of those things is really weird.
Yeah, there wasn't a big enough tipping point.
Yeah.
Lots of people find out they were adopted.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, what's the thing? Like Batman, like Bruce can't get over his parents. Like, Kal-El's whole planet blew up, motherfucker. Come on.
Yeah.
So he picks up his medication and goes home. He lives in a shitty apartment with his mom. His mom's bedridden. Arthur takes care of her. She's been writing letters to Thomas Wayne, as she used to work for him. She's convinced he's going to help her and Arthur out with money. Then
She thinks he's Arthur's father.
she does. We don't find that out yet, though. Not for a little while.
Oh, okay. But yeah, she intimates that there was some sort of an affair. But it's like one of those delusional people you see on Dr. Phil, like, I'm dating Putin. He signals to me through his ties. And
Well, I think they leave it. I think it's left ambiguous as to whether Thomas Wayne gaslit her and paid her off and like was going with that story no matter what, or if she was legitimately crazy.
yeah, they didn't really say. You're
I mean,
right.
she was crazy. All right, she had legitimate mental illnesses, but it's ambiguous as to whether the affair with Thomas Wayne really happened or not, I think.
He seems like the kind of guy that there wasn't an affair, but he, probably pushed her in the pantry a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah, yikes.
But no, yeah.
The aristocrat.
Well, yeah, it's weird that they chose not to clarify this. This was their leaning into the Joker origin thing, I think. Like, oh, it's got to be a mystery. We can't know for sure.
Yeah,
What a weak mystery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
is he Batman's brother or not? Is weird.
yeah, it is.
It's and unnecessary for the overall character. It's a weird choice.
It is.
Absolutely.
It wasn't
Almost
connected
insulting.
enough to Batman, so we have to make him possibly Batman's older brother.
Half brother.
Bastard child of an affair. Like, whoa.
Yeah, their
Choices.
worlds were supposed to be miles apart.
Absolutely.
They connected them too closely.
So I mean, it's in Harley Quinn. They handle it really well when he discovers Batman's identity. He is like, if I wanted to know who Batman was, I would have taken his mask off myself. Now I have to know he's just some lame billionaire.
Right.
Where's my electric
bored.
car, Bruce? It's my favorite
Yeah,
Joker
and
line ever.
Ledger did that well too. That kind of like, I don't want to kill you.
Yeah.
Like, I
I
love
need you.
Yeah, I need you. That's it. Yeah.
He says, "You complete me."
That's right.
Yeah,
He
they're like
does the Jerry Maguire
the
line.
Holmes and Moriarty, the classic, the fugitive, and Tommy Lee Jones.
Making them into brothers, I
Pat
think,
Garrett, Billy the
cheapens
Kid.
that because it
Absolutely.
simplifies it.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't need
Yeah.
the Greek tragedy of them being brothers.
No, essentially it means they came from the same world. It's just one was denied the recognition,
I don't need.
and they're not
Moses-
supposed to come from the same ball sack. What the
Yeah.
fuck does that? They're supposed to be miles apart. Like, we don't
because
know
they're
the
both
Joker's origin.
They're both crazy, though. That's the joke.
They're two sides of the same coin.
It's so dumb.
Yeah,
to
they
Two
absolutely are.
faces
They are.
of the same coin.
They don't need to be brothers. Two sides of the same coin. Yeah, there's another guy.
Yeah.
Which I love that he was Gordon's campaign manager. So, what is my fucking name?
So, anyways, the late night talk show comes on, hosted by Murray Franklin. Arthur loves Murray. He has a fantasy in which he's in the audience and gets pulled out by Murray, who,
And if you grew up watching Carson had those rainbow curtains
yeah.
that would open up a little bit. You came out of the center. Yeah.
Yeah, this is 100% Carson. What's funny, too, because I remember a big thing after Batman 89 came out. For months afterwards, Carson made Joker references. I remember Carson vividly saying over and over again, wait till they get a load of me.
Yeah. Nicholson jokes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
like he didn't have to act or some kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like they just put a purple suit on him.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of true, but
It's true.
yeah. So, yeah.
Did Carson's affinity for Jack Nicholson stem from The Shining?
I think Nicholson, was a favorite Carson guest going back to the early 70s.
He is entertaining to watch get interviewed.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Well, you could tell when there was a celebrity Johnny liked. You couldn't really tell when there was one he didn't like because he was so good at his job. But if he liked somebody, he liked him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, dude had chemistry with everybody.
The world, yeah.
No, Johnny Carson was a special, unique kind of dude for that job.
Yep.
Yeah, he's one of the few things that I remember from TV from like my youngest years.
People trusted him.
Yeah. We've never had America's never had a dad like that again. Like once he left.
Or a host of any kind of show.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Conan, but it's
different.
That's another universe.
Yeah.
I think Colbert's the closest thing, but it's very different at the same time.
Very different, yeah. So anyways, in his fantasy, Murray treats him like a son, puts him on the air. We cut to the next day. Arthur's getting ready for his job down at the Clown Depot. A fellow clown gives him a gun.
A clown gives him a gun. These clowns are trading handguns.
It's not a gun that goes bang like he always has.
It's a flower. A flower comes out.
Yeah, it's one that does go bang, like the bad bang.
bad bang, not good bang.
Which we see later. Oh.
But Randall, the big fat, like sabotaging clown, like we're all in the same clown boat. Why are you trying to fucking hit my knees with a crowbar?
The Chechenian from Barry. He's one of my favorite characters of Barry.
Also, if I hired a clown and that dude showed up, I'd be like, absolutely not.
You can't come in. I'm
calling the police already. Like
he's
the killer in True Detective season 1.
Oh God, yeah.
On the lawnmower.
Yep.
Lawnmower
he's
man.
The Yellow King.
Yeah, the Yellow King. Ooh.
So Arthur gets called into his boss's office. This is where he tells him they want the sign back.
Randall belittles Gary.
Yeah, the little person.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Like, make this dude feel smaller.
Yeah. The bully clown dude.
The bully clown.
The bully.
But behind the scenes bully. That's not his clown persona. You know,
No.
Busher, Spike, the bully clown. Like behind the scenes, he's sabotaging other
He's like,
clowns
listen,
to make less than minimum wage.
Listen, it's a clown. It's a clown eat clown world.
He was clown in control, is what it was.
Gary is an interesting character in this movie.
Yeah.
We only see him the 2 or 3 times, but he's an interesting perspective to get on a bad dude who kills bad people. But oh my God. But he is quote unquote smaller and easier to miss than than Arthur. But Arthur looks out for him. It's weird. It's very like on the nose.
Yeah.
Well, that was a
Could have
Joker
just been a
thing.
diminutive clown, but he's literally a small person, like it's very direct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Arthur relates to him because he's another small person. Mm-hmm.
He's different. Yeah, exactly.
And Arthur can't help but laugh at the joke against Gary because he can't help but laugh.
We cut to Arthur kicking garbage to vent his frustrations. Then later in the elevator of his apartment building, he runs into a fellow tenant, Sophie, a single mom who lives with her daughter. He and Sophie apparently connect over a shared sense of misery in life.
Did they ever say her name?
No.
Yeah. No?
I don't think so.
I don't think they ever did.
Huh.
She has a full name, Sophie something, but in the credits, but I don't think her name is ever said on screen.
So she specifically mimes shooting herself in the head because her kid is complaining about something. I forget. It's a kid complaining.
Sophie says something and the kid mimics
and says it over and over like kids do.
What she said and says it over and over again about the building being so terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then
awful.
He mimes it back to her and she gives him a weird look. This is the only time these people actually interact in the movie, right?
Until the last one.
Until the end.
Well, they have 2 more times. She goes to see him live.
No.
She wasn't there.
She wasn't actually there.
That was in his imagination. So this actually happens, and he builds this thing in his head to become his further relationship with her, where she is supporting him in comedy and his girlfriend, I guess.
Yeah, they needed a female sort of love interest, but also I think it was a heavy-handed way to show other people have very similar problems to Arthur and don't react to them in the way he does.
Right.
She's poor, living in the same shitty building, raising a kid on her own.
Well, and I have to say I was absolutely relieved it was all in his head because how into his weird, creepy bullshit she was gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came as a relief and not as a surprise.
Yeah,
And it
Sophie
wasn't
could
just
do so much better.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is an excellent dancer and a good clown.
And a good clown.
That was in his personal ad. Single
He's
white
the
male.
clowniest clown that ever clowned.
Single white male, single white female. Good dancer, excellent clown.
Grease paint a plus.
So all right. We then cut to Arthur bathing his mother while she talks about Thomas Wayne.
The shot over his shoulder, bringing up the sexy old crone, was the exact shot of Jay Knack hugging the sexy old crone in The Shining. Because when she looks up at him and then it switches to her being the old woman, that's like the same framed angle and everything. I thought that was an interesting little homage to The Shining of somebody going crazy, obviously.
Yeah.
But
also, no one wants to bathe their mom.
No.
And honestly, like, I feel for that. That's difficult. That's a difficult position to be in.
Yeah.
And it makes
wasn't
me
my
really
mom,
sympathetic for him. Yeah.
Massive. But I think it subtly is one of the few indications where Todd Phillips is like, this will help his change when he finds out about his mom, because I mean that takes a lot of sacrifice to do that for any loved one, to be there, to wipe their butt, to bathe them, all that shit.
Yeah.
And he finds out it was kind of all a lie.
Yeah.
So that helps that a little.
It does.
Well, and the source of all of his struggle too. You know, he was almost unwilling to be doing that had the circumstances been any different.
Yeah. I mean, well, yes. I mean, absolutely. The relationship with his mom and him, what ultimately becomes of that, I think is one of the most, like, not justify, but like makes the most sense for the character of any of the actions he takes in the film.
It was also at this point when Mom's getting bathed that she says to him, "Don't you have to be funny to be a comedian?"
That was the funniest line in the movie.
Oh, I think the who's laughing now joke is, I mean, that's a classic joke, but it's just.
That's the funniest part in the movie to me, his joke.
What's interesting is that when he's with his mother, it's the only time that Arthur seems to be the rational one.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where he's annoyed with how, quote, quote, crazy she is.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? He seems very normal, takes a shower, has a cigarette, watching the TV, and he's annoyed with her Thomas Wayne stories. Like, he can recognize that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Even then.
So it's really weird to see him. He is depicted as having a mental illness as a result of trauma, and it affects him in the specific way that he laughs uncontrollably and at the wrong time.
I think more than trauma, they even say that he was dropped on his head.
I mean, from like physical trauma, like physical brain trauma.
Absolutely.
That's his mental illness is a result of that. He does not have like personality, like multiple personalities or like
borderline personality disorder, which the real Joker does. Joker does.
Yeah.
He is just a guy who is choosing to do all these things.
Arthur relates to Michael Douglas's character in Falling Down.
That's another one of those guys.
The Joker in any
or like
movie.
Tyler Durden.
He's just had enough.
Yeah.
It's not that he's missing a conscience. He's just had enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And fully aware of his choices and fully defending them by the end of the movie.
Absolutely.
He was surprised that he didn't feel anything. He expected to.
Right. So
a psychopath does not.
Yeah. So, all right. So later when his mom's asleep, he plays with the gun. It accidentally goes off. The next day, he follows Sophie from dropping her daughter off at school on the train to her job at a bank. Then we cut to Arthur watching a stand-up comedian in a club, taking notes. Then
laughing at the wrong time.
Yep.
He laughed like, okay, so the audience would laugh and then their laughter would die down and then he would like respond with his laughter. He was always like 2 beats too late.
Like he's out of step with the rest of society. Get it?
I interpreted that as he was laughing because he realized he wasn't getting the joke. Because he always laughs. He's literally laughing when he has like a negative emotional response to a thing. He's never just laughing. You know, he's not just like ha, 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 sitting by himself. He's like feeling sad and then starts laughing.
Yeah, no. He never once laughs at anything that's actually funny. Every time he laughs, it was a nervous response every single time.
Yeah.
No, but he was taking his notes. He wrote down, jokes about sex.
Right, but he wasn't.
I think he's writing down what worked.
What people found funny.
I mean,
what topics were funny that people laughed
He
at.
did laugh at the premise, which people don't normally do. But if you're getting the joke, but again, we don't know if he voluntarily laughed or not. But you could tell where the joke was going about their role playing as a professor. You knew it was going to be more about the, So he starts to laugh. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So then we cut to Arthur alone writing jokes. The doorbell rings and it's Sophie. There's one point where he just writes the word mental illness.
He has
mental
pictures
illness.
that he's torn out of magazines that he's taped on different pages. Like they really wanted to make it look like the notebook you'd find under the mattress after the kid's been arrested.
Yeah.
This was his journal / joke joke journal. He had another name for it. / spank bank.
Yeah.
He just cut out pornographic images and pasted them into his book.
Yeah. So the doorbell rings. It's Sophie. She asks Arthur if he was following her. She doesn't seem to mind it. She thinks Arthur's funny. He tells her he does stand-up comedy and she should come see him sometime. So this didn't happen.
Okay. Yeah. And I knew that. I just was kidding. Yeah. Gotcha.
Then we cut to Arthur being a clown in a children's ward. He's a pretty good clown. Until the gun falls out of his coat.
The joy on these kids' faces was real.
Yeah. Yeah. They're happy. They're not like, oh, this fucking clown.
And actually, the joy on his face seemed real.
Yeah.
Yeah. He cries to his boss. He's like, just not this job. I love this job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because it's a clown temp job. He's going to wherever the clowning is. That's the one he wants.
You go where the clown work is.
Get it on trucks in the Dust Bowl.
Like
going out to
nurse,
California for the clown field.
From Tucson to Tucson.
But yeah, him dropping the gun, man, holy shit.
Yeah.
That moment.
Yeah.
That's so well done.
His reaction
and the way
is
he kicks it,
genuine.
and it's almost
Quietly just trying to shush. Just like,
and he doesn't break that.
it's
that little kid feeling of like, as soon as I break, they're going to react.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to stay
like the deer in headlights
Right.
reaction.
But it almost stays a clown bit. Like, yeah.
Right.
If those adults hadn't been in the room, he would have been okay. Because those kids probably would have been like, I like this clown.
He's silly.
Yeah.
He had a silly gun.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
A silly gun. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, he gets fired because of that. He takes the subway home, and on the subway, a trio of yuppies are harassing a woman. He breaks into uncontrollable laughter. The woman leaves, and they turn their attention to him. They beat him up until he pulls a gun and kills two of them, chases the third off the train into an abandoned station where he murders the final one. He freaks out, runs away into a public restroom where he dances.
But once again, he committed this crime because he had been pushed a little too far, which is something that happens. And a lot of times it's justified. So it's not that he just stood up and started shooting people like the Joker would.
Yeah.
He had had enough. He was being beaten up. If that happened in real life, you could shoot somebody. If they were kicking you.
Yeah. And you could,
So anyway,
you'd probably
just more relatability that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. And depending on what state you're in, you'd probably get off for it.
Yeah, in Arizona, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does not take much for you to legally feel threatened and then use lethal force. That's all you have to do is feel threatened.
But these were white collar Wall Street people.
That's
why. Yeah,
that's the rub.
That's the rub.
Which is
He killed the wrong bullies.
Yep.
That's right.
Which it could have been much worse as a choice of people that he ended up killing. Bernie Getz, as these guys taught me. What was it, Chicago?
No, it was New York City.
New York City?
I think it was 3 kids, and they were trying to rob him.
Yeah.
It was the same situation. He had been mugged like constantly on the subway, bought a gun. Didn't go with the intention, but as soon as he got trouble, that's what he was.
Yeah.
But there's no way they could have done that. They couldn't have been 3 kids of color. That would have missed the whole overarching.
Yeah.
You people are scum. You're as dirty as the filth. I'll clean up this flawless town.
Well, and
He'd be Dirty Harry all of a sudden.
What's interesting is if he had shot the kids of color who beat him up at the beginning, then
that would have been.
He would have.
Oh, we said falling down. What's the Charles Bronson one? Is it Death Wish?
Death Wish, yeah. Where
another one where he just they raped his wife. Where it's just like I had all as I can stand.
Yeah, it's like seven full movies of him just killing black people. Death Wish.
But
I think at a certain point they became like Central American drug dealers, but whatever.
No longer a wish. He's like, how many wishes do I have? You can't wish for extra death wishes.
Have you guys been?
You only get one.
Have you guys been watching the new season of What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes, he has a djinn.
Yes.
He has a genie.
Yes, all the wishes.
It's so hilarious.
penis,
how specific you have to be.
The penis wish episode was amazing.
I gotta catch up on this.
Same.
So all right. He goes back to his apartment, knocks on Sophie's door, and kisses her. So it's interesting. That's the first time he dances after the killing, and he dances repeatedly after that. We cut
starting to feel a little more free.
Yeah, exactly. He feels like he's come alive.
A baby bird, if you would say, he's out of the nest. He's finally.
We cut to the next morning. Arthur's cleaning out his locker at the Clown Depot. He tells everyone that Randall gave him the gun. On the way out, he
clean out your fucking clown desk.
Here's a tiny box.
No, a big shoebox.
A giant shoebox with a tiny car inside. Oh,
he takes out framed pictures of his clown wife. There's a potted plant in there.
So,
he punches out the time clock. I thought that was clever.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Oh, I forgot to punch out, and just punches it off the wall.
And on the way out, he scribbles out "forget," so it just says "Don't smile" on the sign above the stairwell. At home, he sees Thomas Wayne on the Murray Show talking about the murders. The 3 yuppies worked for him. Thomas Wayne is going to run for mayor to clean up this town.
And Wayne calls out the have-nots as clowns.
Yes.
He calls poor people clowns.
Yeah.
Very Hillary Clinton.
The super predator.
No.
Are you
deplorables?
The basket of deplorables.
Deplorables. Basket of deplorables.
Basket of deplorables. It's hard to keep track of the shitty things. Yeah, it is like that. Exactly.
That's a very inelegant thing to say.
Just very tone deaf. Yeah.
Well, it's just not a clever thing to say. Also, it's not even funny.
No.
Like nothing about it is smart. That's
no, but it was her and Bill.
Issue with it.
That's why I thought of the super predator, because in the 90s they had coined that phrase and they were referring to thugs. Mm-hmm. They were referring to gangstas.
Yeah.
And they called them super predators. What a fucking term.
Oh, yeah. No.
To call poor black kids. God damn. But yeah.
Well, and she was specifically talking about teenagers, which is a whole other thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If, talking about adults is one thing, but to
teens,
children.
Roving packs of teens hunting people.
No, we tend to forget how fucking racist the United States has been. It didn't just start. Like when Trump came into office, people didn't start being racist. It's been going on.
No, all that Trump did was he was just like, we can say it now.
He gave everybody permission.
Well, just say it if you want to say it.
Yeah, exactly. So we cut to his weekly meeting with the social worker. She informs him that their budget got cut. They won't be able to meet anymore. He won't be able to get his medication. And we cut to
that happens so much. My wife works in social services, and society doesn't realize how dangerous that fucking is. Mm-hmm. But it happens a lot. Just you're cut off of your psych meds.
Yeah.
Most of these medications you're supposed to wean off of, or you have a break or a manic episode. So it's fucked up. That was true.
Super fucked up. Yeah. So then we cut to the comedy club. Arthur is waiting backstage to go on. He goes up. He's bombing. He can't stop laughing in his nervousness. Then he sees Sophie in the audience and he's able to go on. And in his mind now he hears applause. Afterwards, he and Sophie go for a walk. They see a newspaper about the clown killings. Sophie tells Arthur she thinks the clown killer is a hero. They start seeing people wearing clown masks as a political statement about class and rich people.
Her saying that is just the funniest superhero movie trope ever. It made me think of Kirsten Dunst in Spider-Man, where she's like, "I'd love to kiss Spider-Man upside down."
Yeah,
and Peter Parker's like, "Yeah, I should continue being Spider-Man. I can turn this into all kinds of upside down kisses." Like it's just so simple of a trope to just plop in this movie.
Yeah. Also, kissing someone upside down is a good way to get a nose in your mouth. FYI.
All that rainwater, just drinking it off of our nose.
I want upside down kisses to be the name of our emo band. Your hashtag.
So, all right. Arthur goes home, finds his mom asleep in front of the TV. She wrote another letter to Thomas Wayne. Arthur tells her he had a date. She goes into bed. He reads the letter, which is asking for help from Thomas, as she claims that Arthur is Thomas Wayne's illegitimate son. Arthur gets mad, confronts his mother. They argue. She admits to him that Thomas Wayne is his father. They had an affair when she was a maid working in the Wayne Manor. She got paid off and signed some papers when she got pregnant to save Thomas Wayne's reputation from a scandal. Then Arthur goes to Wayne Manor, where he sees young Bruce playing in the gazebo, as children often do.
He's a New York lonely boy.
A gazebo. They talk through the gates.
He had like a fire pole.
Status.
That was like a tree gazebo, I think.
Is that them making an homage to Batman 66 with the fire pole?
The fire pole? Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I missed that.
Yeah.
I missed tree gazebo.
This man puts his fingers in a child's mouth.
Yes, you don't put
and we're expecting to view him as the hero?
You don't.
This was pre-COVID, so you know.
You don't put your fingers in someone else's kid's mouth. The parents tend to not like that.
It doesn't matter if it's sexual or non-sexual.
Yes.
And hey, kids, if an adult or anybody puts their fingers in your mouth,
bite down.
Tell them to stop.
Yeah, or just bite.
Just bite. Yeah,
bite those fingers.
Can't really speak
off.
too well with the fingers in your mouth.
It's a weird thing to have a character do to another character in a movie that is a kid.
It is.
You know, if he had done that to Alfred, I'd have been like, this is really weird, man. But with a kid, I was like, oh, this is awful. I can't forgive any of this action. And this man should go to jail.
He thinks that kid is his little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, he
but still doesn't justify the, I have siblings. I never put my fingers in their mouth.
Just a few of them.
Why would you? That's gross. Yeah. I don't want my fingers in someone else's mouth.
You should put them in your own mouth.
Yeah.
But also,
he also didn't wash his hands before or after. Yeah. So
also,
no, not since the garbage strike.
Also, how many times do you think that kid has? How many memories of Joaquin Phoenix sticking his fingers in his mouth does that kid have? Because Joaquin Phoenix really put his fingers in his
figure out who the Joker is.
53 takes.
He's like, I got to get it right.
You got to. This fucking kid is not rubbery enough. Can we get another kid?
So Alfred shows up to get rid of Arthur, though he does indeed recognize Penny's name when Arthur tells him he's her son. Alfred tells Arthur that his mother was delusional and sick. There was never an affair. In anger, Arthur attacks Alfred, but ultimately lets him go and flees. He arrives home to find his mother is being loaded into an ambulance and taken to a hospital. He goes with her. She's admitted. Apparently, she gets stabilized. He's outside smoking. He's approached by 2 police detectives. They tell Arthur they were questioning her when she had a stroke. They want to ask Arthur about the gun he had in the children's hospital as they're investigating the clown murders.
It makes it sound like clowns were being murdered.
Dude, do you guys remember the spooky clown thing?
Of like, was it
I forgot about that.
2015,
2009,
16, somewhere around there?
Clowns in all the little towns and shit. Oh,
Yes.
I have to say, by the end of this, Arthur truly has an insane clown posse at his beck and call.
I know. Yeah.
they had an unofficial gathering in Gotham.
This is
They
just
go
this
everywhere.
is just the story of the Juggalos.
God,
Yeah. That's
Chico
another
loves
like
this movie. By the way.
ghosts and demons like on my list of things that would not freak me out or scare me.
Yeah.
Like that's an idiot in a clown costume. If he has a gun, but then it doesn't matter what he's wearing.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Cut to his mom's room. He's sitting with her, as is Sophie. She leaves to get coffee. And on the TV, Murray Franklin comes on with a clip of Arthur's stand-up. Although he's making fun of Arthur, and he calls him the Joker, or calls him Joker.
This
He says,
joke.
This
Yeah.
Joker. Yeah. Then we cut to Arthur at home, despondent. Though on TV, he sees that there's a big clown rally that night. A gathering of the
Clown rally?
Juggalos.
It's a gathering of the juggalos. Yeah.
At the Wayne fundraiser at a theater to protest the rich. The clown iconography is inspired by the clown killings and Thomas Wayne calling them clowns. He goes down there. He basks in the chaos he's inspired. Then he sneaks into the back door, puts on an usher uniform, and finds Thomas Wayne in the bathroom. Thomas tells...
It's a Charlie Chaplin film. Playing
Modern Times,
Yeah, Modern Times. I don't know.
which a lot of his motion is probably inspired by Chaplin's.
Oh, yeah.
the best of clowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now that I hadn't thought of that, but now that you mention it, yeah, he's doing a real
Modern
Chaplin
Times is,
thing.
remember Grandpa Simpson's potato dance?
Yeah.
When he meets Marge's mom? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they come and they threaten to sue him.
Yeah. Josh, you're muted.
I had
Beautiful
nothing to
dance,
say.
though.
I first became aware of that in Benny and June with Johnny
Same.
Depp.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I was saying when I was muted. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the idea of being so funny without saying a thing.
Yeah.
I think that was attractive to Arthur because he's funnier if he's not speaking.
Yeah. He is not good with verbal comedy. He's much better with
words,
physical
yeah.
comedy. So
He's a clown.
yeah, he's
He's a clown. Exactly. Sorry. I explained the clown. Go
a
ahead.
clown through and through. So Thomas tells Arthur that he's not his dad. Penny isn't even his real mother. He was adopted. Penny's crazy. She spent time in Arkham Asylum. Arthur gets
Because-
angry.
You don't get shit done in Gotham unless you're an orphan.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's not even his real mother.
Yeah, that's what he learned. That's
Or his real last name.
Yeah. Arthur goes home to process this, gets a message from the cops who still want to talk to him. So he hides in the fridge for a while.
Okay, that's one of those, like, lock yourself inside a fridge.
Oh, yeah,
I
the
don't-
one Punky Brewster warned us about. Like,
Yeah.
those kind.
Yeah,
Yes,
not like modern fridges where you could just open the door.
Seriously, like, I looked at the handles.
Oh, one of those old style, like, yeah.
It's
Like
like
old
that was
walk-in.
one of those old latching refrigerators. So was this just another delusion that he locked himself in the fridge because
He would have suffocated.
How would he have
he
gotten
would have
out?
suffocated?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been able to get out.
And then Punky Brewster would have been for nothing.
She's all, see?
Maybe Punky
See?
Brewster came and like saved him.
Maybe.
Because, yeah,
She saved.
I mean, she
Sherry.
saved us all.
he gets out and answers the phone.
Her and Glomer.
But anyway.
Anyway, yes, he does. So he takes a bus to Arkham Asylum.
Arkham State Hospital
No.
at that time.
Oh, no. At first, he gets the call from the Murray Franklin show. They want him to come on the show since the clip they showed on him was so popular.
Yeah.
Then he takes the bus to Arkham Asylum. He gets the file on his...
Basically, he went viral before that existed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I will say, I noticed on a rewatch, you can see the blinking red light of the camera on its stand.
Oh, of when
Because
he's...
that was one of my...
Nice touch.
It was like, it's like, who films in a comedy club in the 70s? What is this? Rewatching
Comics.
I was like, I could see that being like a reference
still
tape.
do.
Somebody thought this was insane. We should show this to our TV show.
Yeah, it's like assistant football coaches, basketball coach, let's record the game, see what we do.
I have some questions about video-related matters later, but we'll get to it. Arthur, so he takes the bus to Arkham Asylum. He gets a file on his mom. He steals it from the clerk. Reading it, he discovers that she was a narcissist who adopted him while working as a housekeeper for the Waynes in the 50s. Penny raised Arthur. Her boyfriend was abusive to her and him, dropped him on the head, beat him up. Later
he was tied to a radiator when he was found.
Yeah.
And once again, another character who represents this broken system, but relates to, like he wants to give him the file, but the bureaucracy doesn't allow him to do that. So it's like he feels for the guy.
Yeah.
So just another example of that, of like, nobody cares about me either.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that poor clerk, it just when he realizes, oh, wait, you're this abused kid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't release this.
That's Brian Tyree Henry. That's fast.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
he's so good.
Paperboy.
Paperboy.
So that's our
Paperboy.
second Atlanta character.
And it's the first person that he confesses to, because that's who he tells, like, I thought I would feel something. I didn't.
Yep.
And him just saying that, and then the clerk is like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. It made me think of, there was a thing that I saw on Reddit where it was nurses working in like dementia care and like, what do they call that? There's a specific like time.
Hospice.
It's a specific type of hospice.
sundown.
For people with sundown care. They talking about all the people admitting to murders, just casually. Like telling where the bodies are buried. Well, just because they forget that they shouldn't tell people. It's like, oh God, that's terrifying. That's what this felt like. Like he just doesn't even know that this is not okay to share.
No, he's way past knowing what's okay to share.
Yeah, he's misinterpreting all the public support as all of the public supports him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's see. Arthur freaks out about this. In his despair, he goes back to his apartment building, but instead of going home, he walks into Sophie's apartment. Sophie finds him there, but instead of welcoming him, she's terrified. She asks him to leave as her daughter's in the next room. She doesn't seem to know him, and we get flashbacks to all the times they were together, and we realize she was never there. It was all a delusion, and he imagined their entire relationship.
They gave us a freaking Fight Club flashback. Which is hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
We didn't need it.
Oh my God. It was full on the Fight Club flashback.
It's so many not subtle moments. Just like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Put that in our bag of story elements that we've been collecting along the way.
Oh my God. This is just every single one of those movies has a finger in this. Every one.
Yeah. They checked every box on their list.
They also gave us a line from Arthur where he says, I had a bad day to her. And that was the running theme in The Killing Joke.
Oh.
Yeah, one bad day.
That's
one bad day. Batman.
That's the joke that Batman tells, or he tells Batman, right?
No.
I forget.
No.
He tells him the joke about shining the light on the board as he walks across the two buildings. And then it's like, you'll turn it off when I'm halfway across. As if
that was the whole idea of The Killing Joke. Joker, pre-Joker, had one bad day where his wife and child died, and he fell into
Ellen
that.
too.
Bruce Wayne had
You had a bad day.
Bruce Wayne had one bad day.
Yep.
And his parents
Pearls
got
were
murdered.
scattered.
And pearls were scattered. And
Barbara
that
Gordon.
was like I said before, the two sides of the coin. Both of them had one bad day and reacted to them completely differently.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same bad day as seen in all of the DC movies about Batman.
Right.
And that's what the Joker was trying to do to Commissioner Gordon. He paralyzed Barbara Gordon. He shot her in the stomach, paralyzed her, and then tortured Commissioner Gordon, just trying to give him that one bad day and make him snap.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. So
Such a great novel.
Such a terrible cartoon adaptation.
yeah.
Yeah. It was a nice touch to throw in that simple line. I had a bad day.
It is. Yeah. So then Arthur goes home and laughs for a while. The next day in the hospital, he confronts his mother about the truth of his upbringing and smothers her to death with a pillow. He goes home and watches clips of Murray's show on his VCR. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
In 1981, a VCR cost almost $1,400.
Wow.
They'd been getting help from Thomas Wayne. Well, I think she said that at some point. Like, he used to help us, and now he stopped.
I didn't. The VCR wasn't on the TV before. I feel like he just bought it, but I don't
Or
think.
maybe he Peter Parkered it, like found it, got it to work.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I looked that
Yeah,
up.
maybe. Exactly.
I mean,
I wanted to talk about how quickly people die from being smothered by a pillow in movies.
Yeah.
it's so
It's always
fast.
so fast.
If you sleep face down for 3 minutes, you're fucked. You're
It was
going to
like-
die in your sleep.
This particular suffocation took under 30 seconds.
Yeah. When he could have just
And
taken
she's just dead.
You can just hold your
taken her
breath
off the
for that
ventilator.
long.
Didn't she just have like a stroke or something, though?
Yeah.
So, I mean, she could be like incredibly incapacitated.
Okay.
This one all out because she's already in a hospital bed. Some people do it in their sleep. I'm like, was that like a super fine
I mean-
silk pillow?
Al's right. It's
Through?
just so unbelievable in movies. It depends
Yeah.
on whatever the pillow's filled with, the density they're in.
And I wonder if hospitals have taken this into account and made pillows more breathable.
But if you're smothered by memory foam, your whole life flashes before you.
Depends on what the
Fall
pillow.
asleep on your water bed.
You drown.
You drown. He smothered me with water.
What depends on what your pillow's filled with. Oh, this one's filled with cyanide and guns.
Oh, if it's down, you can breathe through it. If it's foam, a little harder.
Unless
Wait,
you
I
have an
wanna get a
allergy.
water pillow. That sounds amazing.
A water
Sounds like a
does
good
sound kinda
idea.
cool.
I don't want a
Like
water
bed.
bed. I don't want a full water bed, but a water pillow.
until it
That was
pops.
Just
great.
your head rolling back and forth, singing sea shanties.
So all right, he goes home, watches clips of Murray's show, practices how he'll enter and what he'll say on the show, practicing killing himself on air. Dyes his hair green, dances for a while, and then
This is our third dance that we've seen.
oh god, at
Is it
least.
only the third?
It might be.
And maybe the fourth.
He does a lot of dancing.
He paints his face and his tongue.
Yes,
Yeah.
Well, he's wetting the brush so the paint continues to move, I think.
is he? Because he sticks his tongue out and just starts painting it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I know what Brian's saying, but yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I use the corner of my mouth and just, sort
Yeah.
of twist the top of the brush.
that felt.
Dab a
I
little
don't-
bit of spit
I don't,
onto it.
I don't like I'm painting a wall.
I just have
My
to say
tongue out.
that felt like the most like actory bullshit moment of the entire movie to me. Like I'm acting.
Yeah.
He would paint his tongue. Like I'm like
That's
Yeah.
lazy.
They're all behind the camera going, keep rolling. This is great.
exactly. Well, and the dancing was apparently improvised. Like they didn't have all the dancing in there. That was
Oh,
something he came up with
That's
on
the most
set.
jokery stuff, if you ask me.
It's the thing that makes it work.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know,
The
like
Joker dances over his victims. The Joker dances.
I forget who it was. I was reading an interview
Jack
with somebody,
Nicholson.
and they were talking about their time with him when he was a child actor, and he always danced. They were like, he's always been a great dancer, so it's cool to see him dance in a role. I thought that was really interesting. I was like, oh, okay, Joaquin Phoenix, great dancer.
Yeah.
Well, he grew up in the Children of God cult.
Oh yeah.
Basically a pedophile cult.
Yeah, the Phoenix.
They were all taught how to dance.
So
there's some documentaries that are pretty intense.
Yikes.
So oof. So he's visited by his ex-clown friends.
Oh, hang on. He finds a photo of his mom, like very much younger, and on the back is written "Love Your Smile," TW.
Right, which is part of what makes it seem like maybe Thomas Wayne caused all that, and that's the cover story is what, the hospital, like he forged the documents to make it look like he was adopted,
Or that was another delusion.
Yeah, it could have been given to her by her neighbor, Tito White.
Could have been. I mean,
it could go either way.
Yeah.
It either like implicates Thomas Wayne, or it was just another crazy thing that this guy saw.
Yeah, there's no way to know. I mean, it is ambiguous.
Yeah.
It goes even deeper, you guys. It's Teddy Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. Oh, yeah, big.
He commands a Quackwegian. He has a wife,
Good friend in woe.
He Randall and Gary show up. Arthur kills Randall out of revenge.
He stabs him with scissors to death.
Yeah.
In the
This is
neck
brutal.
and the eyes.
Yeah.
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 Fucking
I
brutal.
remember in the theater being like, what the fuck just happened?
Well, they
Whoa.
come in under these auspices of like, we're just checking up on you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you. But Randall really wants to make sure that he's not going to fucking snitch him out to the cops. And Arthur obviously knows that.
Because the cops were asking questions to all the
clowns. They had some clown questions.
all the normal height clowns.
Well, and Randall knows
Look
where
at the
he
clown
lives.
lineup.
That's how the clowns knew where to find him, is because Randall already sold him out
Mhm.
and said, I gave him a gun.
Yeah.
The whole story. And then they, corroborate it with he had the gun at the hospital. Like, those cops have a strong case.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And I know that Arthur was saying Gary, he indicated Gary was the only one that was nice to him. So that's why he was spared. But it is another Joker thing. Like, often he won't kill everyone in the room. And there won't be any real reason why somebody survives and somebody doesn't.
The moment where he tells him he can go, and then he like does the little jump scare.
The scare, yeah.
As he passes by him, and then Gary gets to the door and he can't reach the lock.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And Arthur
And Gary's
feels bad.
just so terrified, like, hey, Arthur, can you help me out?
Yeah.
And Arthur apologizes.
And he does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he does.
I think he's sincere. I think he is.
No, he is, because he also says, Gary, you were the only person who was ever nice to me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Which our
It
Joker's
just takes a little kindness.
He's not indiscriminate, or he's waging a class war, I guess, and not like a total war on everyone. He's not just killing anybody.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing, is he has motivation here. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
That's weird. You're right.
Mhm.
Like, Randall was a motivated killing.
Yeah.
It's not okay, but
Randall, you fucked me, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You did me dirty. You snitched. That'll get you shot.
Whereas, like, Joker classically wouldn't even kill Randall for that. He'd forgive Randall and then kill him for something entirely unrelated.
Or torture him a while and let him go.
Yeah.
Snitches get scissors.
And I mean, it fits with this
Got him.
character, but like the Joker, it doesn't fit.
No, it's again making him relatable. You're supposed,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have killed Randall too. What a dick. You're not supposed to.
No, it's supposed to be absolutely like befuddling. Like the Joker doesn't make sense.
Like, these are just weird choices. You can write whatever movie you want to make, but this is just weird.
It's weird for the Joker.
Yeah.
So anyways, he dresses up in his Joker outfit, heads out to go to the studio. we get the stair dancing scene, which I would point out is is to Rock and Roll Part 1, Part 2. I can't remember.
Yeah, Gary Glitter.
Gary fucking Glitter. That dude.
Which, you guys worked in radio, right? Anybody do sports on radio?
No.
That is the thing that you play before the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Always has been.
Oh, it's on Jock Jams
It
for
is
sure.
a game time.
Yeah,
song.
it is.
The Hey song, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not a thing that you use for other things.
No. It's,
It gets played at tailgating parties.
There's
Well, and Thoreau was getting as Gary Glitter was convicted for child pornography.
That's I didn't even put that together. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. But just hearing this, I was like, they're doing the he's gonna do the thing.
The big
Yeah,
game.
it's a Jock Jam.
I will say that I'm impressed by the dancing, the clown shoes, and the narrow steps.
Yeah.
I would have taken 3 steps and rolled down like a fucking
I'd have
Donkey Kong
fallen
barrel.
all the way down those stairs.
I would have been on America's Funniest Home
Yes, I
Videos with
would.
that shit, not winning an Oscar.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So good for him.
It's incredible, and it's cool that we get the dancing culminating in a cool dancing moment that is like triumphant or whatever.
Well, and
because also the stairs. We've seen him several times walking up those stairs dejectedly. I hate my life.
Yeah.
And now he's dancing down the stairs.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Fred Astaire. He did that, no pun intended with the name, but the dancing down and then back up.
Yeah.
The steps, kind of.
Well, and
the Fred Astaire is a pun. Oh my god!
Come to me for puns.
That's great.
But I did also like the fact that they do a they turn it into a joke when they do the ironic cut of him dancing, and then they just cut the music and the cops are behind him like, hey, and he just starts running.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the best part of the movie.
You know what I was thinking of? Isn't it Magical Mystery Tour? What's the one where they're in white tuxes and
That's
tails?
Magical Mystery Tour coming down the stairs.
Okay.
I Am the Walrus.
Coming down the stairs, Sid Vicious tried to recreate later.
Paul is dead because he's got the black rose.
That's right.
But they got the white tails and they're like, bump, ba-dum. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
To me, this is the climax of the movie. Everything after this is crazy.
You know what's funny? Tangent. Paul is dead. So one of the big things about Paul being dead was like that he had got in a motorcycle accident and they replaced him with a clone or a lookalike. A lookalike or a robot. A lookalike.
I thought it was just a highly trained lookalike.
Yeah, a lookalike. But what's funny is Paul really got in an accident, but they keep referring to it as a motorcycle accident. It was a moped accident that Paul was in. It was not a motorcycle accident.
No,
he was
Vespa
on a moped and he got bumped by a car and fell on the sidewalk.
Paul is dead to us.
Anyways, yeah, so the detectives, they pursue him into a subway filled with clowns.
Going to the clown convention. They all just left the clown store.
That's the express. That's when the clowns.
I'm sorry,
this
is the clown car. You can't ride this one.
It was a clown car.
One detective accidentally shoots and kills one of the protesters, inciting a riot, while Arthur escapes in the chaos, making his way to the TV studio.
The fact that he had to accidentally kill somebody for them to get attacked too is just weird.
So Arthur stole one of the clown's masks, and in doing so, started the fight before the shooting happened. So these clowns were already fighting each other.
They were already angry clowns when the shooting started. You don't want to rile up a nest of clowns.
You don't.
Look,
you don't.
Don't walk into a nest of fighting clowns with a gun.
Shit. Yeah.
You don't
I would pass up bars because there were drunk people on it. Like, I'll take the next one.
You don't come to a clown fight without a whipped cream pie.
Or seltzer.
You brought a gun to a clown fight? You idiot.
Amateur.
So before the show goes live, Arthur gets introduced to Murray, who he asks Murray to introduce him as the Joker.
Mark Maron's not having any of it.
Yeah, Mark Maron. is in this movie for some reason. I forgot about that. Yeah.
As the producer
Yeah.
of the show for some reason. Like,
As the Rip Torn character from Larry Sanders.
Dude likes
But
to work. He
I
will
like
take
Mark
roles.
Mann.
Oh yeah, me too.
Same.
Yeah.
And he's concerned about Arthur's clown getup.
Yes,
Just like,
as he should be.
Hey, come on, with everything that's going on in the city right now,
Little
is this a good
insensitive.
idea?
Yeah.
No, it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
It's not.
And he's still planning on killing himself, so far as we know.
As far as we know, yes. We don't know when he decides.
I think it's when he starts, Murray starts giving him shit and making fun of him and telling him he's wrong. And
Yeah, I
don't know.
I think when Murray is not friendly anymore, that's when he's like, "Oh, you're one of them."
Arthur had put on a happy face in the mirror in the green room.
Yes.
Yes, and lipstick. Yeah, he did.
And he touched up his makeup because he had been crying earlier. And
That's
you see
right.
that he's pasted over the blue streak. It's a cool little detail. I was like, oh, they're really going for the realism with him touching up his makeup because he's got his big performance, his big debut.
Yeah.
But it's early enough that he still put on the makeup. So I'm wondering in part 2, I'm wondering if he's going to have a physical change to look like the Joker as he's supposed to, or if he's just going to continue to
wear makeup.
Right. I hope not. I hope that he grows a mustache and paints over it.
I hope so too.
And everyone's going to go, why do you paint over your mustache like that?
Why do you have a slightly Spanish accent?
What mustache?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
This is not the mustache you're looking for.
Stand like Cavill in Mexico.
Cavill in Mexico.
Just staring down at people with his mustache that we can all see. Anybody.
So, yeah, Arthur tells some jokes and then confesses to the subway murders.
Oh, smooches Dr. Ruth.
Yeah.
The
equivalent.
The Gotham
The
Dr.
equivalent
Ruth
of Dr.
equivalent. Yeah.
The way he walks out of the curtain and just saunters up to her and kisses her was the thing that made me think of Andy Kaufman more than anything. Just like commanding in the awkward slowness.
And it was completely not what he practiced before.
No. Right. No, yeah.
Like he totally practiced how to come out and present himself, and he just improvised in this moment.
He did.
Nope, I'm feeling better.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is that on the Tonight Show, if it was a comic or a stand-up, they would come through the curtains and they would do their routine. Yeah. And the big, what you always wanted as a comic was to be called over to the couch.
Right. Because
if you weren't, then okay, maybe next time. But if you were called over the couch, Johnny liked you on. So it was interesting. He was just there for the video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was there to be made fun of all along. He didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they went that route instead of giving him 5 minutes to burn on TV.
Right.
They knew
that would have been more cringy.
If he walked up and did that, he's not going to deliver a good set. He's going to just burn from 10 seconds in. You know?
I think it was Al that said it earlier. Yeah. He's being laughed at, not with.
Yeah, absolutely. So they argue. Arthur flies into a rage and kills Murray live on TV. The audience flees.
He does the Godfather Michael Corleone, just let it slip out of your hand. Just drop the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We see Marone try to cut he's trying to give him the kill it signal, and you see him just kind of slightly shake his head. No, I'm going to continue. There was a lot of little
but then it does cut on his, they cut him off with his last line.
Yeah, he walks up to the camera and starts talking, and
but it was fun though when he walked up to the camera. He slips out of the studio lights. He's wearing the red suit, but when he slips out of the studio lights into the close up of the camera, it turns purple.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't catch that. I wonder if that was like a blue light or something on it to give it the purple look.
Probably, yeah. Blue,
yeah.
So he's arrested, And as he's let's see, there's riots across Gotham. An ambulance crashes into the police car.
They recreate the Heath Ledger scene almost for some reason.
Yeah.
Remember when Heath's arrested? He's just got his head out the window. But it looks like it's the same kind of thing. Like looking at the destruction that he's wrought.
Yeah,
it's weird to recreate that so soon.
Yeah, it was. So he stands on top of the car and dances and smears blood on his face in the shape of a smile as he basks in the crowd. We got to Arkham Asylum.
The Proud Boys.
Do we know if they planned on getting him out of the cop car? Did they know that was his cop car, or was that just in the chaos that they?
I think it was the chaos. They discovered him because it took him a second, and then they realized who it was.
And
they kind of nudge each other and go like, "Hey, look!"
I forgot to mention while they were coming out, the Waynes come out of the movie theater into the alley.
What did they see? What movie did they see?
Zorro the Gay Blade.
There was a second one. There were two movies up there.
Blowout.
Which
was like almost an NC-17 movie before that was the thing.
So
but
they were probably seeing Zorro the Gay Blade.
They were seeing Zorro the Gay Blade.
Which was playing in 1981 and is a reference to the fact that they came out of Zorro in the...
I know. It's just hilarious. I think we talked about this recently that like as time goes on, Bruce's childhood is, continuously in a different era.
Yeah, at some point they're coming out
they
of
went
Shrek.
And saw Back to the Future, then they went and saw
Shrek.
Fatal Attraction.
Shrek was the last movie they saw before they died.
That's right.
Yeah, we're not far off from that being our Bruce Wayne origin movie.
If I lost my parents following Shrek, I would turn into something as well.
A troll living in
Joker.
Classically, the Waynes were killed coming out of Zorro.
The Mask. The Mask of Zorro.
The Mask of Zorro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Douglas Fairbanks.
Yeah. And we didn't just see the Waynes die. We saw the fucking pearls in slow motion fall on the ground.
And he made it the Joker without making it the Joker.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like it was a clown mask. So that's now in Bruce's mind.
It's
in their canon.
It was sparked by the
same
Joker.
day, the clown who was in charge of all the clowns is the one who started the riots. You know?
Exactly.
As a kid. I mean, that's what society's going to accept.
It's clowns all the way down.
Yeah, we live in a society made of clowns.
Fucking A, we do.
It's clowns all the way up as well.
That's true. Up and down.
It's nothing but clowns. It's infinite clowns.
Rapidly devaluing. Get your clowns now.
If you'd like to buy,
or wait, no, sell your clowns.
Yeah,
if you've had clowns.
sell.
Clown coin has been falling a lot.
Come to me for your hot clown stock tips.
CFT.
Clown isn't what it used to be.
Bit clown. Bit clown. That's what they call Gary.
So, God,
we should press coins and call them bit clown.
Yeah, and corn. Some corn coins.
Bitcorn.
And today, Bitcoin
That's how you
was
donate
born.
to us. Bitcorn.
So we cut to Arkham State Hospital. Arthur's laughing about a joke. The therapist asks what the joke is. He says she wouldn't get it. We cut to the outside hall, and he leaves with bloody footprints. And then an orderly chases him back and forth Scooby-Doo style.
I hope the next movie opens at this moment. I really hope it does.
If they took it just right from there.
Because he was singing. He could be singing another Sinatra tune.
Yeah.
Is Sinatra turning in his grave at this point?
I hope so.
Yeah, for lots of reasons.
Is it? Well, yeah. Well, and yeah. And That's Life is the theme song to Murray's show. He says, and he says, remember, as always, that's life.
You think Frank Sinatra's proud of his son, Ronan Farrow? I do not believe that's Woody Allen's kid. Anyways.
Yeah.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
There's blonde hair and blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's Joker. That is Joker.
That is Joker.
Oh, did we miss the trombone? Womp womp. When he told the joke, I think we didn't touch on that. That was a beautiful
He did
moment.
the knock knock.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Again, just they're making fun of you. It was just another thing where he starts to notice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here because they think I'm funny.
What was it? Knock, knock. It's the police, man. Your son's been hit by a drunk driver. He's dead. Wah, wah. That's not funny, dude.
Yeah, Dr. Ruth.
It's
Very
true.
upset.
It's true. It wasn't.
You can't tell jokes like that.
No, that's where she's wrong. Like, you shouldn't tell bad jokes about that. That's hurtful.
Unanswered question.
But you can make death funny. All right.
Yeah, unanswered questions.
What happened to Sophie?
Yeah, we never found out.
Kept living her life.
Well, we don't know if he killed her.
We just see Arthur leaving her apartment.
Yeah,
I don't think he hurt her.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so, especially since
I'd like to think so.
Right.
Yeah.
If this was a Joker movie, we would have been led to think that.
Yeah.
But Arthur's compassionate.
And Zazie Beetz did sign on for the second one, so
Oh, well, that'll be interesting to explore.
There you go.
yeah. Who knows in what capacity? Like if it's in a major role or not, but
Could be just memories.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because we know Harley will be in it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, who knows? I don't know. More unanswered questions or final thoughts?
No, just why? Why make this? It's as bad as the Grinch origin.
Oh, and we didn't even mention he won the Oscar. He won the Oscar for this role.
All right. Yeah, second Joker to win the Oscar.
2 Jokers have won the Oscar now. Yeah, but but Tommy Lee Two-Face Jones is still.
Yeah. Look at how long it took Scorsese to win one, or Spielberg, or it's funny.
Yeah.
The Academy is.
Glenn Close still
bunch of
doesn't have
clowns.
one.
Yeah, it's just.
Ultimately,
Yeah.
this is a well-made movie, well
It is.
acted. There's a ton of incredible moments in it, but man, the intent and the meaning behind the art, it's really hard to give this any.
He's just not the
room.
Joker.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
he was a fascinating character, but he's not the Joker.
He's a fascinating
to me.
character, and the intent behind it and the meaning behind it is just so fraught at this point. It's like you can't just make this movie and expect it to be received in a vacuum.
We haven't mentioned Barry Keoghan or whatever his name is.
Keogh?
As the possible future Joker.
Oh,
Well, they
from,
did that deleted scene together.
from the
Yeah.
Batman, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if somebody else takes this as a interpretation of the character, because that's every Joker is stacked on the one before it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting role in that sense. We don't get that with any other real comic book character. Like Superman has everybody's Christopher Reeve. They're not.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
The Joker is a very unique pop culture character in film, specifically in that it is every single time it is a reference to the previous time in some way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's not like Darth Vader or something that's so consistent.
Yeah.
Getting back to the comic book origins quotes. This movie is a potential origin.
Yeah.
They don't claim it to be canon. It's just one of the many origin stories for the Joker that it's like, okay, maybe it was like this.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can dig that. That's important to the character, though we don't know for
Well,
sure.
and it certainly does not connect to any previously established or henceforth established DC universe. Like, this isn't
Right.
the same Thomas Wayne from any other Batman thing.
No.
It's kind of Elseworlds in that sense, where
little bit,
it is a different take on the character. It'll be interesting to see if that's how DC moves forward in some fashion. Instead of doing the cohesive universe, just have smattering of universes.
Elseworlds or Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were planning on doing with Flash.
Well, I think they were trying to tie
Opening
a
up their
thread.
multiverse.
Well, to tie them together, which I don't think they need to do. I think that they can survive without doing.
No, but I
that
thought
because
that's
of
how we
things like
see
this.
Michael Keaton, is that he's from a different universe.
Well, but this is not connected. Whereas like Elseworlds are not connected. What's the other one that you mentioned, Al?
Sorry, Infinite Earths.
Yeah, Infinite Earths is connected through a single thread.
Right, but Elseworld novels were their own.
Yeah, they are all independent. It's like Marvel. What was that? 1740 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like it's a reinterpretation of the stories. I hope that DC continues to do this as much as I bitch and moan about this movie. You know,
they got to figure something out.
Yeah, do something that's don't quit trying to tie these things together. It works without it. You know.
Yeah, because it's been a goddamn mess over there for years now.
Like don't claim any of these movies to be canon. It's just this is just a possible interpretation of the world. I guess I don't know. This is a possible universe.
Move away from the Justice League. You know, like the latest Suicide Squad movie was awesome. The Peacemaker show was awesome. I liked Titans. That was a decent show. Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
I'm just, Marvel did that. They embraced, side characters, C-list, even D-list, the Guardians.
Yeah.
It's like, just do that, DC. Show us some other fucking shit.
It doesn't have to always be Batman and Superman every fucking time.
And
imagine
the Joker.
Mr. What's his name? Mitzoplick. How do you say it, Al? You know how to say it. Mitzoplick.
Mr. Mephistopheles? No.
No. Mixospillic.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a fun character to see?
Huh.
Totally.
So, yeah.
You could get Gary from this movie.
This was Gary's origin story.
He's Gary Mixospillic.
Gary.
This is different than any other movie we've done.
Oh, yeah.
Like Logan is the closest thing for obvious reasons, but this is
Super was kind of dark.
Well,
in a way.
Unbreakable a little bit, except it's not with an established canon of characters.
Fair. Yeah, that's like a thriller.
This reminded me of Unbreakable in a lot of ways. Like I said, just him as a character was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Performance.
You bring it into this larger universe and didn't quite work.
So that leads us to ranking it, which this is going to be hard because it is a very well-made film, but it's also just has so many extra textual issues.
I think you're in the right area, though. It's a better made film than X2.
I think that this is better than Captain Marvel and Ant-Man. That's rough to say, as much as I dislike this movie content-wise. Damn, this movie is compelling.
It is. It's a better made film than either of those. Those are both some pretty basic Marvel.
It was the second Ant-Man movie that really was good.
Yeah.
The first Ant-Man was pretty.
Yeah, I mean, they were just very Marvel basic brand.
But it's not better than Days of Future Past to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a better film, but
as a comic book movie, it definitely doesn't reach that level.
I would feel weird.
Fun.
I would feel weird putting it above Spider-Man for sure. That's I don't think I could even think about that.
Well, do you want it after Days of Future Past?
That's my vote. Honestly, it feels weird topping Captain Marvel with the Joker movie.
Captain Marvel was good, but it wasn't as good as it could have been.
It was it was good, but it was a very basic superhero origin story. It
was by the numbers. Yeah.
Al, thoughts?
I'm on board with your thoughts.
All right.
Decided.
So nice and easy then. We're going to stick it at
less fun than Captain Marvel, but I suppose a better film.
Yeah.
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 Oh, did I complain about the needle drop in the cop car? Was that Cream?
Oh. Yeah. In the white room.
Of all the songs to play, I love that song.
Station.
But
it always makes me think of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, though.
To me, it was just really generic. It was the most white bread choice of a song
to put there.
Cream,
absolutely,
just more milk.
White Room by Cream. Yeah, that's pretty white. But
it just wasn't interesting.
It made me think about. It made me think of a padded room.
I honestly,
the whole song's about duality. I don't know if it's about duality, but
thematically, it totally fits. But it's just a weird choice. Okay.
There are a few needle drops, and it's not a needle drop movie. Yeah. We've been over this.
I'm excited to get to a sequel and talk about a musical version of this.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised, like, if you're going to go with, like, a 60s song there, like, why not, like, Gimme Shelter?
Yeah.
Sympathy for the Devil, which would be corny as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
It felt like using Sympathy for the Devil.
Gimme Shelter's better than
I don't want to hear Sympathy for the Devil
ever
used in
again.
a movie ever again.
Yeah.
I'm with you. It's
There was
almost
that one
as bad as All Along the Watchtower.
that
To
Denzel movie where
helicopters.
he's the devil. It worked.
Yeah. So, well, all right. That's it for the Joker, which means it's time to look forward to next week. And next week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are going to be watching Birds of Prey, or the
this is fun.
fantabulous emancipation of one Miss Harley Quinn.
I like Ewan McGregor in this.
This is one of my favorite DC movies personally, but
I'm glad to hear that because I've never seen it.
It's good.
My God, Al.
It's good.
I'm excited
How
to
fun.
hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so this came out after we started the podcast, and I kind of stopped unless like something was really like in my face. I stopped watching new superhero movies because I knew we were gonna get to it eventually.
I think you'll like it. There's a lot of aspects of Harley from the Batman the Animated Series. Like they give her some touches that we all recognized before, but they hadn't. Yeah, it's fun. You'll see.
It's the reason Suicide Squad got remade.
Absolutely.
Or got another movie.
Absolutely.
Got another chance. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I never didn't watch it out of protest. It was just.
Yeah, you'll love it. I think you'll
wait.
honestly enjoy it.
yeah,
I think I will too. I've been anticipating.
And it's funny, Ewan McGregor does a better Joker. He's not the Joker.
Yeah.
But the way he handles his character.
Absolutely. And also, by the by, it's our last pre-COVID movie.
Wow.
There's
So
after
was that the last time we stopped?
I think that's another
meeting?
reason I think that's another reason I didn't watch it.
Birds of Prey was the last movie I saw in theaters before COVID. Yeah.
I
personally.
think I
So
saw
we
it in
recorded
theaters,
that
too.
in person? That one? Was that our last studio? Where we were all together for the show?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. After it, that was the last movie in theaters when we were still recording in one place. Bloodshot does come out technically on March 13th, which is the day that it was declared a pandemic and everything got shut down.
Yep.
So, and then after that, it's just COVID. 2020 is not what 2019 was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2020 movies, as compared to 10 in 2019, and 2 of those, were scheduled prior to COVID. So,
Wild.
yeah. And the other 3 barely existed in theaters. Those are going to be some interesting box office top 10s.
So
So
it'll be interesting talking about movies after COVID.
yeah. I mean, which one even counts as the first after COVID movie? I'd say
Did Black Widow make the list? I don't think that got a theatrical
it
run.
did.
no,
It
that
got
did.
theatrical.
It got a theatrical.
But I don't
I
know
saw
if that's
that, too.
after COVID. That's like kind of during
That's
COVID.
that's during COVID, yeah.
I mean, No Way Home was just as we were getting that humongous spike in December 2021. The first one that I could say is legitimately post-COVID might be The Batman.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So anyways, that's it for us this week. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. This is your host, Throw Smiley. And as always, remember, the lady is a tramp.
I'm Josh Cece, acclaimed director of the adult feature Ace in the Hole.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I've got a clown fight to get to.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I can carry a tune to save my life.
Save your life.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Buy Bitcoin.
Bye, guys.